I started doing the Photoshop for the thumbnail and using Roman numerals. If we had done this episode 5 episodes ago, it would have been episode XXX for 30.
All aboard!
Hey! Huh? Oops! What? Wow! Yeah!
Hello, everybody. I'm going to start. Welcome to episode 35 of Where Streams Come True.
I thought you were gonna invent a theme song right there.
There is one.
Just write. I know. Just write a new one.
Well, all he
Right
does
there.
Did the show? Be sure to like and follow and ding the bell.
Smash that like
Smash
button.
that like button. Body slam the subscribe.
Shoot the bell.
Shoot the
in
bell.
front of its family.
Kill your parents. This is the show where we suffer through the entire good and bad of Disney Plus. Speaking of killing your parents, I'm.
What?
No, that was the last one.
That's the last movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's Force Awakens. The show. I'm your host Collins, and with me today are our guests Logan and Rachel, the executives of studio, new executives of the camera's dead now.
It's true.
One of these two may be a recurring co-host. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, or we'll alternate. We'll see.
We'll figure it out.
I don't trust having two newbies on the show.
Yeah.
I don't want to be alone in a room with two of the new people.
Just not. You're saying not us. Like us.
Yeah.
You're cool with.
Oh, us. Yeah. Like one of you, then a new person.
Because you've established that we're newbies.
Because I know your movie opinions.
Yeah,
and
but
I
we're
can-
not new to the podcast.
That's fair.
Yeah.
This week we watched Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, with the dumbest Roman numeral, with V and 3 eyes. I think it's too long.
It's Vi.
Yeah, I'm like, what is that? 7 and 8 are like, you get the Roman numerals so confused with 7 and 8. It's
Oh
like,
my god.
anyway, it was by director Rian Johnson. The Star Wars saga continues as new heroes and galactic legends go on an epic adventure, unlocking mysteries of the Force and shocking revelations of the past. I guess it's kind of what happens in the movie.
No, it's not confused with the other one because it's. Or are you saying that with the Force Awakens?
Yeah, because Force Awakens is VIII.
I.
And this is VIII.
I.
Right, and then it's IX.
Yeah, IX. That's cool.
That is cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd rather have X.
That's why
That'd be the coolest.
That's the only reason I think there should be an episode 10 in another 20 years, maybe. Like, leave another gap like they've done last time. And so we get episode X.
That'd be cool.
Extreme.
And then XI and XII. And those ones are fine.
Yeah.
Why are we having opinion? We haven't even gotten to the movie yet. We're giving opinions on Roman numerals.
So we will start with initial thoughts. Have you seen this movie before? What was your experience first time viewing? And now returning to the movie. Let's start with Logan.
Okay. Hold on. What was the first question again? Because I got stuck on that last one.
Have you seen this movie before? What was your experience first time
okay.
watching it and now revisiting it?
All right. So, I watched this. I took my friend. I've seen it before. I took my friend and we went to the movie theater, and he does not know Star Wars or like Star Wars. And initially you think you're like, oh, that sucks, but then you're like, maybe it's like a lucky him kind of thing, because Star Wars fan base, they're so just angry all the time. So
true.
But yeah, so I took him, and we had the worst theater experience of our lives, because like just everyone around us did not give a shit about movie theater etiquette. We had this
Of course,
girl
it was all
sitting,
Star Wars
like,
fans.
Huh?
It was all Star Wars fans.
Ouch.
That's probably part of it. There was this lady with the Slurpee cup that she'd finished before the previews even started, and she was like shaking the straw in the Slurpee cup, like the whole movie.
I'm glad that I have a stock sensor now.
Yeah.
It's like Tinkerbell's wand. That's what it sounds like.
Oh, that's cute.
So you can swear all you want.
So,
Yes.
That happened, and then in front of us in a row, this dude was like on his phone the entire time, not even watching the movie, just staring at his phone.
You're in a Star War.
Yeah, he's in his.
Watch
It's
the
the
Star War. Watch it.
And I understand that it's long, but this is happening from even the beginning. So, I in movie theaters, I really enjoy going to the movie theater. But then once I get towards the end is when I'm like, man, my butt hurts, and it's like getting sweaty all down my back. Like I'm kind of,
Especially in a movie that long.
yeah, that and like it's also like you're in these leather seats, and it's pretty warm in there because you got the brightness of the projector coming in, and you got all the people together. So it was getting hot, and like by the end I was like, oh my gosh. So because of that, watching the actual movie, I was like, oh, it ran a little bit long. But I liked it. Like, I enjoyed the movie because the seventh one I thought frankly they didn't do anything new. It was like, oh, it's like Star Wars: A New Hope again. So I'm happy that they did something different. I think it might have ran a little bit too long, but overall I liked the movie.
Awesome.
And now returning to it, I understand. I understand the complaints. I get it. I'm just gonna say that from the get-go. I still like this movie. Star Wars fans, get over yourselves. I'm sorry. You have very valid criticisms, but I think what it is those criticisms you've blown out of proportion to hate this movie that ultimately is better than either of the J.J. Abrams movies.
J.J. Abrams.
Jabrams.
J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I guess I'll go next because I know what I'm going to say. I have seen this movie. As I said at the end of the last episode, the only Star Wars movies I had seen in theaters, I saw Revenge of the Sith as a kid. I saw the re-release of Phantom Menace in 3D. Then I missed 7, Rogue One, and so 8.
Not Rogue 3.
So not Rogue 3. Rogue Squadron. That's a movie that's gonna happen. So this was the first Star Wars movie I had seen since Phantom Menace, technically. So I was primed to love it, and I had a really good theater experience. Like I had just wrapped up a math final, and then went there straight to the theater.
Nice.
It was just all settled in. Theater was really well behaved, which is good.
What theater did you go to?
I went to the Megaplex.
Okay. I went to
Megaplex
AMC.
on, like, it's like close to Washington. It's not on Washington.
I think
but
I went to the one in the...
Junction?
Junction, yeah, the Junction.
Yeah, I went to the Junction one too.
That was really good.
Mhm.
It was really good. And like I could hear like the theater of a different theater that was playing it. They must have been towards the end of the movie because I was walking as I saw this Last Jedi, and I just heard like inside it,
Nice.
which must have been from the end of the movie. And I was like, oh, what's going to happen? And I hadn't watched any trailers leading up. I had watched like the initial teaser that didn't really show anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like that first one that ends with like, it's time for the Jedi to end, and like that's all I had seen. So I think that probably helped because I think the additional trailers they put out built up a lot of expectations for people. And like I also had those expectations. Like I was going in to be like, okay, we're gonna get everything explained to us. We're gonna find out who Snoke is. We're gonna find out Rey's parents. And like I wasn't disappointed that we didn't get that.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember that it feeling refreshing to me that like for once the stupid harebrained schemes that the protagonists come up with don't work. I remember that moment in the theater and I was like, huh, because it's a stressful movie, and I remember like when like, okay, here's the plan, and I was like, oh, I don't know if it's gonna work. It's like, wait, it's Star Wars, of course it's gonna work, so I'm just gonna relax. And then it doesn't. And I was like,
Yeah.
what?
That was the biggest plot twist of the whole movie.
Like, why it didn't like It always works. Like, oh, we're gonna sneak in and get in this thing. Like, it works in Rogue One. It works in A New Hope.
Oh, imagine if it didn't work in Rogue One.
Yeah.
Well,
Like, if they just got caught like they did in this in Rogue One.
What if it was just an anticlimactic? They get caught and they get arrested. Roll credits.
Yeah, because
like at the end of Monty Python.
it's like there's no way this is gonna
seen
work,
that.
but it's Star Wars, so of course it will.
We're fixing that.
No, it didn't. And revisiting it, less stressful. I think I still keep my ranking of it in my personal list, but I had a lot more fun watching it this time than I did last time. Last time I just got real anxious for some reason.
Ooh.
But like, yeah, like, less people died than I remembered. Like when they get to Crate and everything, like I thought that, like, cause like it goes from like the whole Resistance to being able to fit on the Falcon. You can fit a lot of people on the Falcon first of all, and like more people survived than I remembered. Also, this made me want to replay a lot of stuff in Battlefront 2. The Crate map is just,
They have the crate map in Battlefront 2?
oh yeah, it's so good.
Oh, that's cool.
And
Oh,
like-
wait. Is that the one where you can like go on down and it's like a mine?
Yeah.
Okay,
Like, and
never
there's
mind,
like
I
there's
played
the
it.
trenches. You can do the skimmers, which like nothing like being a first order person walking up and then a skimmer just going right in front of you and it's nothing but red and you're like, well, I can't see anything.
Time to die.
It's yeah, and then you just get sniped by someone. Yeah, that's good. Okay, great.
Okay, it's my turn. I had seen this one before. I saw it in theaters when it first came out in the Junction. This was long before I actually started giving a shit about Star Wars. I started giving a shit about Star Wars.
In Star Wars,
I started in Star Wars.
I knew it!
Mandalorian is the first
This movie came out in 2018, right?
visual toilet we've seen.
Yeah.
This came out 2017.
Really? One
Yeah.
year after 7? Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
this is
did
it.
1-1-1-1-1.
Yeah, and
It was
it began
too tight.
It began the trend of Star Wars releasing things during finals week, which I hate. Like,
Yeah.
Rise of Skywalker also came out during a finals week, and it was like, what?
But you know what? Nothing beats like the joy of completing a final, getting
And then
your
going-
grades,
And then
you
going
get
to
past the
go-
class,
That's true.
And then you get
I
to go
think
do something
Endgame.
fun.
I think Endgame may have also.
I
come out
think
during
so
a finals
too
week.
because my friend went to go see
It
it.
came out like finals of spring.
Yeah. He went to go see it in his college town down in Ephraim. So,
I think that's how I
Anyways.
finals week.
this is my turn.
It's just
It's my talking turn.
I'm done.
Anyways, I only started really caring about Star Wars in December a few months ago. So going to go see this movie, I had technically seen the other movies, but didn't really care that much. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. The scene where Admiral Holdo flies her ship through the other ships, I about lost my mind
Spoilers!
because it was so good.
doesn't matter.
No, we don't care on this show. Other than that, like I had a decent movie theater experience. Star Wars fans were surprisingly well behaved in my theater.
That's good.
They're the reason I didn't like Star Wars for so long because I hate Star Wars fans. Rewatching it, I didn't have the best viewing experience this time. I started watching it at like 10:30 at night, and it's a 2.5 hour long movie. And
That's on you.
also, well, it was either that or watching it this morning. Those were my two options. And I wasn't waking up early to watch it either.
I split it between
Disgusting.
last night and this morning.
Yeah, but I had the volume turned down really low because it was late at night and I didn't want to bug my parents. And I also had my window AC on because it was hot because it's summer.
Wow.
This really is
The
on
optimal viewing experience.
Right.
Of Last Jedi.
But it was fun the second time. There were about 5 points in the movie in which I was like, wait, there's still more? Man, we're still going? Because
It was longer than
there's
I
like,
remembered
it
Yeah.
was so much longer than I thought. And there's like 6 different times when the movie could have ended and then they keep going. And
That's true.
yeah, other than that, it was fine.
It's like a better Return of the King ending.
Yeah.
you. What? You don't like Return of the King?
No, I
ending?
love Return of the King ending.
Right, it just ends 12
Yeah,
times.
12 times. But I love it. I love all 12 times, and I cry.
Right.
You know,
every
you're
time.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. No, they have to get everyone's ending.
Imagine if they had done that with Rise of Skywalker and had it end 12 times and like let's catch up with every character. I would have lost my mind.
Yeah. No, I think it's a perfectly fine, good,
Yeah,
fun
I
movie.
don't think it would fit
It's
in
not my
with
favorite
what
Star
else.
Wars
There's not
movie.
enough characters to do that with anyway.
Right, most of them died.
Yeah. It's like let's see what Finn's doing. Yeah.
It's just him like
He's
sitting
still
on the
being
edge
a
of his
fucking
bed,
coward.
staring off
He's
into
just
the middle
sitting there
distance.
Well, now what do I need to get a job now?
Ah, man.
War's over. Like am I gonna go into politics? I don't.
Do I?
Because he doesn't get the Force, does he? He's just kind of
No, it
like...
was stupid.
Well.
And then there was Poe just being a
Poe
dick.
just being.
God,
a
he
twerp.
was so annoying in this movie.
This really reinforced, like, because I was sort of on the side of people being like, oh, well, she should have just told him the plan. And watching it this
No.
time, it really was like,
No, she was 100% right.
like, she doesn't know this man.
Right.
All she knows, she knows two things about him. Is that A, he got the entire bombing fleet killed, and B, he's demoted. So...
Right. She has no obligation
like,
to
yeah.
tell him the
And
plan.
yeah, she tells him, like, go to your post and, like...
She says, I know what I'm
do your
doing.
job."
Let me do my job. I'm the admiral. And, like, he even recognized her as, wait, that's Admiral Holdo from this big epic battle that obviously went super cool and awesome. So why wouldn't you trust that and trust that she has a good plan?
It's just it's a protagonist bias that you
Yeah.
should know what's going on.
Yeah.
Right. And she didn't do that. And so people got pissy. He got pissy about it and then fucked up her plan.
Yeah.
She had a
It would have
plan.
worked.
Did we get through your whole viewing experience?
Yes.
Yes, it was good.
I liked it. It was a fun movie.
Oh, it's a fun movie.
It's a fun movie.
There's one moment in here that I think doesn't get enough talk about, and I'll get to that.
Okay.
Also, I will bring it up several times, and I really don't want to forget, but this movie just really reinforces how stun weapons in Star Wars are overpowered as hell.
Yep.
I first noticed this in A New Hope, where just the radius of the stun thing just gets all of Princess Leia in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And this one, like, the stun baton flings a person across the room, paralyzes them, and knocks them unconscious. And then you're able to just, like, bang someone from across the room with a stun blaster and get them. Like, why doesn't everyone just exclusively use stun weapons and just knock each other
Because
out?
they want to kill.
Right, like killing the radius is like this big because it's
And
like
yeah,
a
it's like-
But
yeah.
I have never seen anyone miss with a stun weapon.
Right.
in Star Wars.
it's an area it's AOE, yeah.
Anyway, let's begin the full review. We will try and get through this as quick as possible.
Yep.
There's a lot of paragraphs. I just copy pasted this from IMDb, so thank you, IMDb. We get to see all of the character actors in this. The opening crawl from this latest film. That's inaccurate, whatever. Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, reads that the First Order is plotting to seize military control of the galaxy. A team of resistance fighters led by General Leia Organa, played by Carrie Fisher, are planning an evacuation from their main base as Supreme Leader Snoke's, played by Andy Serkis, forces are coming for them. The resistance holds out hope that Luke Skywalker, played by Mark Hamill, will return to bring hope. Anything from the intro you want to talk about? I love how this picks up immediately after Episode 7.
Yeah, I think that's fun.
I think that's fun. That's nothing that they haven't really done that before.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah, they don't they always do a little bit of time
There's, like,
jumping around?
Yeah, there's like a jump of
I gotta
like-
think about the original movies.
There's like a jump of like 2 years between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back.
Oh,
and
there's
then-
an even bigger jump in between
And then
4 and 5. Or 5 and 6.
5 and 6? I think,
Yeah, episodes 1 and
Because it gives
2.
them enough time to get the green saber.
right.
Episodes 1 and 2 skips 10
Episodes
years.
1 and 2 do skip 10 years.
Yeah.
And then episodes 3 and 4 skip. Well, they used to skip 2 years, and then after Clone Wars finished, it became 3 years because they tacked on another year of the Clone Wars in there.
Right.
Mm.
Well, 2 and 3.
Oh, nice. So
3
that's
and 4
really
was
Three, three, three,
19 years between 3
Yes.
and 4.
And then 6 and 7 is 30 years.
But those are between sequels or between
Actually,
franchises.
the only other time this happened is between Rogue One and 4 because those take place immediately after.
Right, literally like Leia
So it
turns
feels like
around
that.
and
It
it's
kind of feels like that.
yeah.
It feels like that.
Okay.
And how the whole movie takes place within like a day is also kind of cool.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, it takes place within a day.
I like how, like, I feel like in the past Star Wars movies, like, they always talk about how, the Resistance is in trouble, the future hangs in the balance, blah, 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 you know? But you never really see, like, this. Like, this felt
This
like true
was genuinely tense.
like, this felt like true desperation.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's what we needed all along in this series.
This
I'm like,
is, if
where
we
was
don't do
that?
this right, the entire Resistance will die, and you will watch them die on screen, and that is the end of
this
it.
one, even more so than Rogue One, is the like, war is hell type movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I know people
Even
were,
then, like, yeah, Rogue One, like, it was kind of like glorified endings for all of them, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right, it
Like-
was a hero's
But
ending.
yeah, this one was more realistic. Like, it would have been cool for Admiral Akbar to go out in like a blaze of glory, even though most people have no idea who that is. But like,
It's a trap!
But like, yeah,
Is that guy.
It's a trap. Like going out just like that.
Right, they just kind of blew up the bridge,
love-
and then they're like,
I
"Oh,
love
now
that.
every important person is
It's
dead.
They're just gone. Like
Every single member of our leadership is dead except for Leia, who is in a coma." Like that, they just did that.
they
Yeah.
did. Anyway, we were jumping all over the
Yeah.
place.
Yep.
The opening scene shows Poe Dameron, played by Oscar Isaac, and
Isaac.
the droid BB-8.
Isaac.
It's like it's the sequel to iCarly.
It's a reference to a freaking Bible TV show where they pronounce everything weird. Isaac.
Isaac.
Literally, it drives me up the wall.
Oh my god.
VeggieTales?
No, not.
I don't know of any other Christian TV shows.
Living Scriptures.
The Bible. It's just called the Bible.
Oh my
It's a
God.
limited series on like History Channel.
Oh.
Oh, I thought that was where they tried to
Their
do
BB-8 flying over the First Order's Dreadnought, which
I forgot how funny this opening scene is.
I'm not sure if that's the same Dreadnought that Iden dies in Battlefront 2, but it is a Dreadnought.
Yeah.
As General Hux, played by Domhnall Gleeson, orders his men. I love Hux. Orders his men to fire upon. He just has a really bad day here. Orders him to fire upon Poe in the Resistance base. Other fighters head in for the attack. Poe orders a fighter. Paige? Oh,
Yes.
that's
Her name was Paige.
Played by Veronica. No. NGO. How do you pronounce that?
I don't remember.
You know?
Yeah.
Veronica. I'm not
Yes.
going to try and butcher her last name. To drop the payload onto the Dreadnought. It's being somewhat brief in the recap. I appreciate that. The fighters take heavy hits and Paige is knocked away from her remote. Where mere moments before the First Order obliterates the Resistance, Paige is able to grab the remote and drop all of their bombs down on the Dreadnought, completely destroying it at the cost of her life. The rest of the fighters go into hyperspace to escape. So this is cool. I love anything that Poe does in a ship, out of a ship. His personality is grating.
Yes,
But-
but the bit where he like
Really-
slams on the handbrake and just like
And he does,
spins
like, a
around.
power turn.
Yeah,
in a
or like when
ship.
he like flew through the little grate and then the TIE fighter went through and just sliced its wings off.
That was
I loved
cool.
that. There were some good fights in this movie.
And like
It
that's
makes me wish I was good at Star Wars Squadron.
We're gonna talk a lot about the fighting once we get later on. 'Cause
Yeah.
I have strong opinions about a certain fight scene.
Cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
I feel like I know which one you're talking about.
I
but
feel like
One of
We'll
the
get there.
like 2 or 3 fight scenes that there are. 3.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
technically 4. There's a little one that I noticed that's fun.
Oh, little boo boo baby boy.
A little baby fight scene.
Just a little shanking.
Just a little one.
Okay,
Shank
over.
someone with a lightsaber.
Um,
Continuing.
White Shank.
Light
Trolling General Hux. Love that.
God, that was so funny.
Like it's just good.
That's what 2020 has felt like. That was a Zoom meeting where he's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I can hear you. Can you hear? Can he hear me?
That's what I.
He's
it's
like, okay, I'll hold. And he's like, what do I?
technical issues like that are never explored in Star Wars.
I know.
Except for that, like they're just like
He gives
they're
his
just able to connect to each other.
He
Like
gives his dramatic speech like 3 times. And then Poe is just
full
like,
Nazi of just like, oh, we won. Like he knows he's the bad guy.
right,
loves
and he
it.
does like the whole like, we will destroy your rebellion, your pathetic scum of a blah blah blah, and then Poe is just like, yeah, I'm holding for General Hugs.
And he calls him General Hugs.
General Hugs.
Which is fantastic.
Oh, it's so good. I think okay. We're gonna get to this in just a second,
gonna
but I
get
feel
to
like that should have been the comic relief of the opening, and then they tried doing another comic relief with Luke a second
Yes.
later. You didn't
True.
need the 2 comic relief scenes.
That's true.
Yeah,
It-
that was one thing where you're like, oh,
I think
not what I
I think
expected.
that might have been better because they reference like her holding up the lightsaber later in the movie, but him just like maybe just not picking it up and
Just-
walking
yeah, just
away,
leaving.
That would have been and then that would have made the callback in the movie later better.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess I understand him chucking it. Like, of course, fans are like, why would he do that? But like, that lightsaber doesn't really mean too much to him. Like,
Right.
sure, Ben gave it to him, and then he got his hand cut off, and he lost it, and yeah, he got over it.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
got the green one. The green one was
It
cooler.
was his. He made it.
Yeah.
He's like, that was my terrible dad's lightsaber. Why do I want that?
Yeah.
He
If
sucks.
it was the green one, then I
Yeah.
think it would have
He
been.
still had his green one somewhere.
He did?
Does he? Maybe.
Yeah.
He's got the compass from Battlefront 2.
Oh, cute.
I'm gonna talk about Battlefront 2, which, like, anyway, never got explained in any comics or anything what the compass did.
Yeah, it's fine. It's Davy Jones's compass.
David Jones' compass.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Ba-da-bum-bum, ba-da-bum-bum, ba-da-bum-bum. Let's keep going.
Yes,
Yeah.
aboard the
Wow.
First Order ship, which has a name, but this doesn't bother giving it.
Baddie ship.
A hologram of Snoke
Danger Boy.
reprimands Hux for failing to stop the evacuation. Kylo Ren, played by Adam Driver, enters the meeting. Snoke notes that in spite of Kylo killing his father, Han Solo, he may still turn to the light side of the Force. Although Kylo protests, Snoke doesn't have faith in him. On his way down the elevator, Kylo smashes his helmet to pieces in rage.
Oh my
I
God.
feel that.
That was a cool.
I've had moments where I've just felt like just punching a wall, and he embodies
He
that
did
pretty
that.
well. Because he just gets like real embarrassed. He's like, take that stupid thing off. He's
Right.
Like, oh, but I look cool.
Like, I got a little embarrassed.
I was like,
And I don't even like Kylo Ren.
You don't like Kylo Ren?
I think his design is really cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Except this is a pet peeve. His design in Force Awakens is like top tier Kylo Ren design.
Mhm.
And then they immediately get rid of his hood. And then they get rid of his mask for like most of this movie.
Right.
The mask does look cool again in Episode 9, but then they don't give him his hood back. Like
Right.
him with like the cool hood and like,
It was
looks-
very
he
unique.
Looks cool.
Yeah.
And then
No,
they're
I think
like,
I
we need to
liked-
make him look more like fancy.
I think they were trying to humanize him.
Yeah,
I think is what it
I
was.
think that's what it was.
I think they're
and
trying
I think
to show him as wounded.
But he should have kept
Uh.
the cool like shawl.
I think they should have just kept him as a villain, but whatever. That's why I liked Episode 7, Kylo.
Yeah.
He was a good villain in Episode 7. Episode 8, he was a whiny boy, and I didn't watch Episode 9.
Gotta watch Episode 9.
But,
Gotta
we'll
watch-
see.
gotta watch it.
We'll
Gotta
see.
watch it. Hux getting face planted through the Force is just fantastic. That's one thing I like about Snoke that I'm realizing, that the way he uses the Force is unique. Because like he will specifically use the Force to humiliate people,
Mm-hmm.
which is
He
fun.
does.
Like he face slams Hux, and then like when Rey tries to go for the lightsaber, he just bonks her in the head with it,
Yep.
and he like just like zaps Kylo Ren through the floor. Because it's just to show like how effortlessly he can use the Force of just like, and slam.
Yep. I like that. I think that's fun.
Slam. He's like just like a real petty version of Palpatine.
I was just gonna say petty.
Exactly.
Petty boy.
Because he technically is a version of Palpatine, but like just all the pettiness.
I don't think we should consider that canon yet,
It
because
is canon though.
it's like revision though. Like
Not
it-
really.
But is it like, do you think that's what Rian Johnson intended when he made?
I don't think
the
Rian
movie.
Johnson really cared about what Snoke's origins were. Meanwhile, former Stormtrooper Finn, played by John Boyega, wakes up from his coma after his lightsaber battle with Kylo. Poe finds him and is happy to see him. The first thing Finn asks for is Rey, played by Daisy Ridley. Rey had just arrived on the planet Octo, not Octu, I think, with Chewbacca, played by Junius Suotamo.
Sure.
Peter Mayhew was a lot easier to say. And R2D2, played by Jimmy V, I guess. They still have a person in the suit. That seems inhumane, but
It's
Okay.
not Warwick Davis.
No. Should be. I think Warwick Davis is somewhere in this movie. I'm not sure.
Really?
Yeah, he's like in every Star Wars.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't
Is
know.
he the poison of Star Wars?
He might be like one of the people in Canto Bight. I'm not sure. They're on the Millennium Falcon to find Luke. She hands him his lightsaber, which they type down as light-saber. I hate that. It's one
It just
word.
says light hyphen
saber.
written out and then
Right.
saber.
The word hype.
Light
But
hyphen saber.
He callously tosses it over his shoulder. Confused, Rey follows Luke, but he doesn't want to see her or know who she is and why she has sought him out. She tells him that Leia sent her to find him. Chewie breaks down the door to Luke's hut. Luke then asks Chewie where Han is.
Oh. Sad.
Yeah, that was sad.
Mark Hamill getting really close to the camera and then looking sad. Just kills
I
me.
know! There was some good stuff in this movie.
You started out saying I like this movie.
I do like this movie. The things that I
You're
didn't
starting
like
to sound
about
like a real Star Wars.
the only
fan.
thing I didn't like about this story was this movie is what they did with Luke. I thought it was a little. I'll get to that.
Yeah,
We'll get
because
to it.
I do like it, and
do
I
like
think
it as well.
that Star Wars fans should stop being such whiny about it.
Oof.
But that's, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That-
well, I agree with that.
That's what I'm
mostly
gonna
for
say
the-
until we get
I
to
agree
there.
with that mostly in the aspect that it happened and there's nothing you can do to stop it.
Right.
Like, having personal tastes is totally fine, but you can't Snyder cut Star Wars.
Oh, and not only that, like, if you don't like actually have some more, like, why do you not want Luke to be a dynamic character?
Yeah.
Why would you
also,
not
like,
want
I
him
wish
to?
I wanted to say this at the beginning, but I forgot. Like, with this movie, it is hard to talk about the movie without talking about the movie, if you know what I mean.
yeah.
So, as we will try our best to mostly talk about the movie, but it's gonna.
It'll bleed over.
I mean,
Yeah.
it even kind of ruins the
especially for
the-
Star Wars. I
Yeah,
think.
it even kind
Yeah.
of ruins the experience of watching it for me because I've constantly got in the back of my head like I don't know why people have an issue with this. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
just because the amount of the
Like I said, Star Wars fans are the reason that I avoided
And
Star
I
Wars for so
totally
long.
understand that.
And
yeah.
nowadays, I'm just like, cool, I like Star Wars, let's move on. And people are like, oh, but actually, and I'm like, shut up, it's about zoom, zoom, pew, pew, lightsabers,
Exactly.
space
Yeah.
I
wizards.
like it when the lightsabers go burr.
Right.
It took me so long to get into Star Wars as a kid, because
It took me until I was 22.
True.
I'm not even. Jury's still out.
Yeah.
But like I remember being in the bus at school and like I played the Force Unleashed games and I just like played the
Oh,
first
those
one on
games
Wii
are
and that's what first almost got me into Star Wars because I really liked that game. And then like kids on the bus who were like super into Legends stuff was like, oh, he doesn't even know who the Yuuzhan Vong are and like whatever. And I'm like, I don't.
What do you
care.
mean
I
you
just-
don't know Coleman Trebor? Like,
like-
shut up.
And I'm
These
like, I
names mean
like I've
nothing.
watched
Exactly.
I've watched the
Oh, you've
original
never heard of
trilogy
Gloop
on
Shido?
VHS. Coleman, oh my gosh, don't talk to me about Coleman Trebor.
He was on screen for 30 seconds and then
And
died.
he got shot. He's an idiot. And
I want
it
more
was
of
like that. And then like even in high school, I played Knights of the Old Republic for the first time. But I made the grievous sin of playing it on iPhone.
How dare you? Mobile games aren't real gaming.
I know.
That's
And it
not
was like-
real
And
gamers.
I was like, oh, I'm kind of liking this Old Republic stuff. And they're like,
Yeah, see, I was always like,
that was the area of like, oh, the MMO ruined the Old Republic, which
I was always
can't believe that was a thing.
predisposed.
There's an MMO.
yeah, still is.
It was an MMO.
Still
I
is
don't know
okay.
anything about the Star Wars
Yeah.
video
Oh
games.
wait, I think I
haven't
actually
gotten
had
into
that
the video
downloaded
games
because I thought it was Knights of the Old Republic, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh, I
Star
should
Wars:
try
The
out
Old
this
Republic.
game.
I've played a bit of it. It's fun.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I was gonna say I was always predisposed to liking Star Wars. Like I would play lightsabers with my friend, like and her siblings. I have a Star Wars tank
Oh,
top
no,
that I've
I
owned for years.
I had lightsabers. I think
Right?
it's-
Yeah. So like everything
built
I
my own
liked,
lightsaber at Tomorrowland back
I'm-
when you could do that.
I'm gonna buy a custom
I
lightsaber
did
soon.
the Jedi Training Academy at Tomorrowland.
I did
That
too!
sounds delightful.
Oh, wait,
I
other hand.
wish.
Oh god.
Yeah,
Oh my
we're
god.
vaccinated.
I got a shot, so now my arm really hurts.
Yeah.
I still have my Padawan certificate.
That's adorable.
Yeah,
I don't.
I have it.
I threw
Oh.
that away.
So for a bit, I was a canon Star Wars.
oh,
character.
so right
Cute.
at
because
little
I had the official thing, and it's like you are a Jedi now. Though now I'm a Legends Star Wars character.
Yeah,
It's
you got
Tomorrowland.
deleted.
It's okay. I'm fine with Tomorrowland not being canon anymore.
Yeah, no, everything
So-
was set up for me
Not
to
the
like Star
Tomorrowland
Wars.
movie, but the Jedi Training Academy.
But I
Yeah.
just never did because I hate Star Wars fans and I didn't want to associate with them.
I just need to go
And
to
now
Galaxy's
I've learned
Edge.
to just. I watch TV shows for fun, is the thing. And Star Wars fans
I
think
watch
that's
Star Wars for
illegal.
I think there are TV shows that you should watch for more than fun, but I don't think that Star Wars should be included in the
Yeah,
shows
Right.
that you watch. Like, that's definitely a show that you watch to have fun.
Right. I want to enjoy myself while I'm consuming fictional media designed to be enjoyed.
Exactly.
So
Speaking of fictional media, let's
get back
continue.
to the thing.
Leia demotes Poe as a result of his actions with the Dreadnought. Moments later, the First Order ship catches up. Just please tell me the name of the ship. This is killing me. Remember when we did, you neither of you on it, but we did A New Hope. They did like the exact names of every ship.
Oh,
And it
really?
was like,
And they never talked about
the
that.
Corellian YT-1300. Like, all of these have names. But whatever. There's this, it's like, it's Snoke ship is like the Supremacy or something.
Oof. Oof.
Then then there's the White Supremacy. That's the other ship.
You mean Raylo?
Oof. Okay. Anyway, they
I hate that.
after tracking
Shit.
their
No.
hyperspeed,
hate that.
an idea first established in Rogue One. The First Order deploys their TIE fighters to attack. This is the other part of the show that everybody loves when I mispronounce easy to pronounce words.
Good job.
Kylo flies in his own TIE fighter, except it's not really a TIE fighter. It's like a TIE Echelon, I believe.
Okay.
And prepares to launch the
It's
killing
cool.
strike against the Resistance leaders. But he pulls back after sensing Leia on board. The other TIE fighters fire upon them, all of them, causing a blast that sucks the rebel leaders out into space to their deaths. Leia pulls herself back to the ship using the Force, but she goes unconscious. Carrie Fisher had already passed away before this movie came out. And that moment in the theater where he gets blown up,
You're like,
I'm sure
that's it.
everyone was like, how did they keep this a secret? Like, yeah, she's dead. That's crazy. But not dead, of course, because turns out with the Force, yeeting yourself through space is pretty easy. Because that's how space works.
Which everyone hated.
How can you fly with the Force? It's not fly. Like, have you
It's
watched?
They do it all the time.
Have you-
defies the laws of
Have you
physics.
watched the movie Gravity?
You know that one
A
scene in
slight push in
episode
space will just send you going.
episode 3 where Palpatine like takes his lightsaber and then like
Oh, the spinny thing.
yeah, that was not in space. And he
Which-
did that just fine.
Fans justify that by calling it a Force scream, which is why he's able to just stab everyone with no resistance. Like, obviously, he was Force screaming as a stun attack, and that's how he killed 3 Jedi Masters.
It was
You
'cause
know,
he was a
when you hear
Palpatine.
arguments
opposed
like
to-
that, you just think,
The real
who
reason
cares?
for that is because they had the scene all choreographed. It was going to be dope. And then on set, the day of, George Lucas was like, actually, I want Ian McDiarmid. Oh, yeah. He was like, actually, I would like Ian McDiarmid to do all of the stunts himself for this scene. And for Samuel L. Jackson to do all the stunts himself. And for there to be close-up shots. And everyone's like, what? We had 2 stunt actors ready to do a really cool fight, and now you want an old man and Samuel L. Jackson to fight each other. It's like,
Samuel Jackson will win. I
The
hate to
name
break
of
it
the
to you.
dreadnought that got blowed up was called the Fulminatrix.
oh, that's cool.
It took me that long to find it.
Is that the one where Iden Versio died?
I don't know. It was just the one that they blowed up in the beginning of
Oh,
the
wait,
movie.
yeah, this is a tradition of the show now that we look up the wiki of whatever show.
Wikipedia, yeah.
No, it's Wikipedia. The Recess wiki was a whole
I
saga.
hate Wikipedia. That
It's
sounds-
adorable.
Ugh.
I don't like Wikipedia because they give a lot of people bad opinions, like saying that kyber crystal color meaning something about your personality is a thing, even though it was never a thing.
That was something that they tried. No, George Lucas tried to do that.
The only like official
Have you
material
seen
it was
that?
ever in was in Knights of the Old Republic, and you can immediately change your color after.
Yeah.
So I
But
don't
they're like,
know.
this is what it means.
I don't know how much of that is true though about George Lucas doing it. Have you seen the video of Samuel L. Jackson and George Lucas talking? He's like,
Oh,
so how do I
yes.
get my lightsaber color?
Yeah, no.
The good guys have
that was-
blue
they
and
had
the
to-
green, and the bad guys have red.
He
He's
had
like,
to
"Can I do
get
purple, and he's like, Yeah, I think you could get that. I mean,
He,
it's like
he
smiles at the
wrote
camera.
he wrote lore so that he could have a purple one. It was because when a kyber crystal turns evil, it bleeds, and that's why they're red. And so his is purple because it's like it was blue, but like he uses the dark side a little bit, so now it's purple.
The Retribution. She died on the Retribution,
Which Mace
not the
Windu
Fulminatrix.
never does.
He doesn't use the dark side, but like he taps into like the knowledge of it or something.
Who cares? Samuel L. Jackson was the only.
The
good
answer
part
is
of the
that it
prequel
was Samuel L.
series.
Jackson and he can do what he
That's
wants.
the
What are you gonna do?
current
Tell
canon,
Samuel
is
L.
that
Jackson
he
no?
just had a purple lightsaber.
Yeah.
Right.
Otherwise, Quentin Tarantino and him were gonna make a Star Wars parody.
Like, that is what is canon, is the scene from Jedi Fallen Order where he picks up the lightsaber crystal and then chooses what color it is. That's
Yeah.
what's canon.
They were gonna give
Yeah, in Fallen Order, when you get your
Oh,
kyber crystal
Yeah.
and
I didn't play.
you
Fallen
choose the
Order.
color, that's what you
they were
choose
gonna
the color.
give was it Liam Neeson Qui-Gon a yellow one, and I think that would have been cute.
Yellow's
I feel like-
possibly my favorite.
Yeah, I think that
It's
it
not
would
what I
have.
would pick at Galaxy's Edge though.
I feel like it would look really good with Qui-Gon's whole vibe.
would have.
Dude, purple's dope. I might
Purple's
go
dope.
purple.
I might go green. If I
I'm
have
gonna get a
$200
I'm
and
gonna
go
get a
to
yellow
Disney.
one.
I think purple
soon.
is weirdly just the coolest one.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Rey and Kylo.
America's dream couple.
Wait for this. Begin to feel a connection in which they can see and communicate with each other. With Luke still not wanting to have anything to do with the Force or the Jedi, R2 plays him Leia's original message to Obi-Wan Kenobi to persuade Luke to help. From the first Star Wars film, A New Hope. Thanks, IMDb.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Luke
IMDb.
senses Rey's power and eventually agrees to give her lessons in the way of the Jedi and why it must end.
He was right though.
He was
Jedi
right.
were dumb.
Jedi were dumb.
Jedi were dumb.
Yeah.
Everybody's stupid. Everybody's stupid in this world.
Yeah.
I think like if we're to take any sort of canon from the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special, let me finish. Rey does begin teaching Finn. She does begin training him. I consider that at least that aspect of the Holiday Special.
No, I do
canon.
like that actually.
Yeah. In the way that like the Freemaker adventures are like somewhat canon. Basically, what Lucasfilm said is like the broad events are canon, but like
The specifics.
the
of it.
Lego-ness of it certainly is.
Right.
I consider that with the Holiday Special, because nothing's super breaking. Well, kind of. There is time travel in it, but you can chalk that all up to a Force vision.
Yeah.
But her training Finn, I absolutely think so. But I hope that she doesn't just make it the Jedi 2.0. Like, at least call it something else. Anyway, that's what happens in that
That's my
scene.
answer.
I love Octo. The Porgs or whatever. The Porgs were less annoying in this watch through.
Yeah.
They're really not as present as I remembered them.
I like the reason that they had to do porgs though is because the island that they were filming on had so many puffins they couldn't like Photoshop them out, so they just kind of put porgs on top of them.
That's funny.
That was
So,
why
like, if
they.
there was like them moving around in the background, then you wouldn't really have to do much.
Yeah.
Clever.
Yeah.
Clever.
Good job, Ryan.
With Leia out of
Right.
commission, Vice Admiral Holdo, played by Laura Dern.
I can't do that with my arms.
Laura Dern. Which is like, that's the only thing I'm going to talk about, people not liking Admiral Holdo. It's in the Bible, it's a sin to not simp for Laura Dern.
Here's my issue, though. Here's my issue with her. They should have introduced her in the first film so that you'd grow more of an
Yes.
attachment, so it meant a lot more when she died.
Yes.
Yes, that is a good criticism.
But-
you were on thin ice, and then you
Laura
said that,
Dern.
and now you're fine.
Laura Dern. Assumes
Laura Dern.
command of the
That's all
Resistance.
my opinions today.
Cool.
Laura Dern,
No
Laura
more
Dern, Laura Dern,
opinions.
Laura Dern, Laura Dern, Laura Dern. Meanwhile, Finn attempts to hop on an escape pod. He is found by mechanic Rose Tico, played by Kelly Marie Tran, who is mourning Paige, her sister. Did they ever say that her name is Paige in the movie?
Yes, it's mentioned briefly during the beginning battle.
Oh, he says Paige? Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. Oh, can we talk a little bit about that? Just a little more? I love those ships. They remind me of World War II bombers.
Yeah, they were cool. I like the
They got, like,
designs.
the bottom turret and stuff.
If there's
Okay.
one thing Star Wars does is good ships.
And it makes me so happy that they finally stopped using Y-Wings.
Like
'cause
Raylo?
I hate Y-Wings. They suck.
Oh, I thought the Y-Wings were cool.
Excuse me. Let me rephrase that. They have good spaceships.
Y-Wings predate the Clone Wars.
No, okay, no, it makes sense that they don't use them in this.
Yeah.
But I'm
It's
saying
like strapping a bomb to
I
a
like-
crop duster and going into World War II.
Yeah, it's like, I'm gonna
That's
drive
how they
across
started
country.
World War
Here's
II.
my Model T.
Literally, there's an episode of Rebels where they're like, I guess these will do.
Right, they're like,
Bombers.
these things? Or seriously?
Because they steal them while they are in the process of being demolished by
Right.
the Empire because they're junk.
Because they're just garbage ships.
Yeah.
I do like the designs better than the A-Wings. I think A-Wings are clunky.
Love A-Wings.
A-Wings were those the...
X-Wing supremacy, though. X-Wings are the best.
I just
A-Wings
like the
are-
sound that TIE fighters make.
If I can't play as any of the hero
Just that
X-Wings in Battlefront 2, I play as Talia Lindgren or A-Wing in Battlefront 2 if none of the X-Wings are free. She dies in this movie. I'm very sad.
F.
I liked her.
F in the chat.
F's in the chat. Oh yeah, that happened in the last scene. Yeah, when Tally dies. She's the A-Wing pilot. Yeah,
Yeah.
she just
Oh.
gets blowed up.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, I liked her. And she's in Force Awakens. She's really cool.
What was her role in Force Awakens?
A-Wing pilot.
Yeah.
That was
Rose is a big fan of Finn, seeing him as a resistance hero. However, she zaps him with her taser when she realizes he's trying to escape. Finn, just imagine if you got that taser.
That was a
and you
very
just,
quick
like,
turnaround from like huge fan to.
Gotta do a
Right.
job, gotta do a job.
She was not with deserters right
Yeah,
then.
she
no.
she had to zap like 4 people.
Yeah, she was
already.
saying, my sister died so that we could do this, and now people are trying to run away. Oh, you're trying to run away? Well, sorry, sis.
I mean, if you wanted to like get the tracker as far away as possible stop Ray from getting, just maybe you'll just like yeet it out of the ship, and then space will take care of the rest.
Right.
Or just throw it in the escape pod and just.
Right.
But then you're still getting rid of an escape pod.
That's fair. However, like, what if space actually destroys the tracker? I don't know.
Or just turn the tracker off. Does it have an off switch?
Probably.
Turn it off. Okay. She's absent. Finn
Or just
notes
break it.
that the First Order is
Step on it,
tracking
yeah.
them through hyperspeed, and they can't make another jump because they're dangerously low on fuel, and the First Order will find them anyway. With Poe's hope, they contact Maz Kanata, played by Lupita Nyong'o. Who's
I
great.
also sim for Lupita Nyong'o.
Oh, she's awesome.
Did you just say who's gay?
No?
Oh, I thought you just said who's gay. And I'm like,
Me.
no.
I
I
am.
said who's great.
I'm gay for
Oh.
Lupita Nyong'o.
I mean, maybe she is. I don't know. For assistance, but when she's in the middle of a fierce battle, to which the internet has been fiercely debating which side of the picket line she was on in the union dispute.
Right.
Is she with the company or is she fighting with the union?
I would like to think that she was with the union because she seemed cool.
To me, I mean, my personal theory is that maybe it's a union dispute where, like, maybe one union is fighting another union, or
Could
the
be
union
that.
is just civil warring.
Right?
Captain America, Civil War.
Unions
Huh?
mean different things apparently in Star Wars.
Union, Civil War.
Star Wars unions. Ooh,
Oh my
make
God.
that a show.
It'd be like a sitcom that's very lightly Star Wars themed.
Yeah.
No one told
And then
you
the
I
season
was.
finale just has, like, a spaceship like crashes into whatever their workplace is and just
Oh my God.
destroys everything.
Exactly.
Roll credits.
She tells them that she knows a code breaker on Canto Bight that can help them, and they need to find him wearing a particular symbol, which is a Star Wars flower.
Right. They were
wonder-
definitely doing a James Bond thing there.
Is he an actual character?
Character?
Caricature.
He was a caricature
Oh
of
no,
James
he's
Bond.
just called the Master Code Breaker,
Right.
and my sister simps for him.
Benicio del Toro.
Hardcore. Not Benicio del Toro.
I was like, he's very old.
not Benicio del Toro. The Master Code Breaker.
Oh, okay.
He's
Right.
got the pencil mustache.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's a hot commodity for people on the
Emphasis
internet.
on hot. There you go.
Ooh,
He was on screen for
Yeah.
like 2 minutes.
ooh, yeah. And there's like no other.
Yeah, and then they just
There's
move on.
no other lore about him. I mean,
Right,
there's a
he's
bunch
just
of-
some dude.
He apparently has appeared in a bunch of stuff, but is
Oh.
never given a name.
Cool.
He's got like the little skunk line through his hair.
Oh my god.
You know you love it. So yeah, they embark. Rey's first lesson sees Luke attempting to show her to feel the Force and control it. Rey is able to see visions and manipulate small pebbles as she achieves balance. However, she soon sees a vision of herself being pulled towards a dark pit, with Luke trying to break her out of it. The pit spews water and She gets snapped out. Luke says that she saw the dark side of the Force and she didn't even try to stop herself. He tells her he has seen something like this once before and it didn't scare him then, and it does now. This is why he considered the way of the Jedi to be a failure.
Which is a good
I
criticism.
love the mood.
it
I really
was.
related to the mood of Luke just like picking up a piece of a tree and just walking around with it.
Yeah, I
And,
do that.
I do that. Like get a stick.
And then you're just holding a stick
Yeah,
or like a
he's
cool
like,
piece of
like,
grass.
smacks it.
Or...
That's what I do in stores, and then I walk out with it.
Good job. Good for you.
But like,
If it's a chain, it's free
speech,
game.
The speech that Luke gives there, I think,
Don't
is
steal from mom and pop
fantastic.
stores, but steal from
Of
Walmart.
just how the Jedi suck.
The Jedi suck.
The Force doesn't belong to them, and if they die, then well.
This has been said in several of the shows.
Which is funny because even Yoda is like, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
Yoda, you were a part of the problem.
You
It's
were
just
part of
the-
the problem.
the-
You were like in the same room as Sidious, and you didn't get any red flags from the way he acted all the time.
right.
Oh.
Anyways,
That old
Yoda.
man was nothing but red flags.
Yoda in that scene is just
I
that
just
picture
don't
of.
trust old men.
That's
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow,
probably
what if
safe
I
for
age
them.
and then no one trusts me?
Well,
I don't trust you already. Anyways, Yoda was that one picture of Elmo with the flames behind him.
yeah. We're not there yet, though. We're just Jedi suck, and he's got.
Jedi suck.
Also, Grey Jedi are not canon. Luke isn't a Grey Jedi. Internet,
No.
knock it off. All that Grey Jedi are is Shadow the Hedgehog, but a Jedi. I can use the dark side and the light side, and there's no consequence for using the dark side because I'm still a good guy, but I'm not really a good guy.
I'm a bad boy.
I'm
No.
Sonic, but he has a
'Cause
gun.
Here's the thing that like especially
Yes.
new Star Wars canon has been emphasizing is that balance in the Force doesn't mean equal light and equal dark, because like
yeah, it's a weird thing. Like the light is the balance or something like that.
Yeah,
It's
because
weird.
if you look at a
Thanks,
scale,
George Lucas, for making this really confusing and convoluted.
well, it
Yeah.
makes sense for me because if you have a scale, the same number of things doesn't matter. It's the weight of things. Dark weighs a lot more than light.
I guess.
In that,
When
if you-
and
if you were-
where?
If you were going with physical aspects, well, if there is
Emotionally.
if there's a lot more light than dark, then things are copacetic. If there's a lot more dark than light, things are bad. If there's equal, like the whole like, oh, he brought balance because there was 2 Jedi and 2 Sith. First of all, there wasn't.
No.
Second of all, no. Yeah. It's like, yeah, they're not weighted the same. You can have like a majority light in it be fine, but you can't have a majority dark in it be fine because the
Yeah.
dark side seeks to dominate the Force, the light side seeks to obey the will of the Force. Anyway, Finn and Rose have nothing to do with, well, no, Finn has something to do with the Force. Rose maybe.
Rose is just kind of
Give
vibing.
Rose a lightsaber
She deserves it.
or a railgun. A really
railgun
a
would be
really
That
way
shoots
big
cooler.
gun.
bullets. Do you know Mandalorians invented bullet guns because if you slice if you block
That's
a
true.
if you block a
Slug
blaster,
throwers.
you can block a blaster thing with the lightsaber, but if you try to block a real bullet with a lightsaber, joke's on you. You have 2 bullets now.
Yeah.
And that's how Mandalorians fought Jedis.
Nice.
Is with a real gun.
That's cool.
That's my favorite piece of lore.
Tusken Raiders also use. They're called slug throwers because we can't. say
Because
gun.
it's Star Wars and
yeah,
we can't.
they also use real bullets.
Do you know that glass is called transparent steel?
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
There's also a word for paper that I can never remember.
It is so bad and dumb. Star Wars, you don't have to. You don't have to, Star Wars.
What is it? Star Wars word for paper.
It's like,
Papyrus.
yep, that was it.
Sorry, that's Avatar.
Flimsoplast and Durasheet.
Flimsoplast and Durasheet. Star Wars is so dumb.
10
I
of the
love
silliest
it.
Star Wars names for real world objects. Rapid fire. Coffee is calf. Almost
Calf
any
is
tools,
fine.
vibro tools. Dice are chance cubes. Cameras are imagers. Oof.
Yeah.
I don't know
fine.
what a cravat is. A spavat. An oven is a gasser. A website is an info cache. Watches are chronos. And tape is space tape.
Space tape.
Calf. My goodness.
Calf.
So they
I don't
arrive
like
at a
calf that much.
casino on Canto Bight. Good thing there's only one casino on Canto Bight. Otherwise,
Yeah.
they would have been lost.
Right.
That's
If it
another,
was like the Vegas of planets,
It's a
they'd be
pet
just
peeve.
absolutely
it's a
screwed.
pet peeve I have with every piece of Star Wars media is planets are big. You can't just say I'm on this planet.
I have to believe in Star Wars that their planets are smaller. That's the only thing in my
Either
brain.
their planets are smaller or there's only like one civilization
like-
on each planet.
Wilderness, and
It's-
it's like, boop,
it's
time
just-
thing right
there's
there.
a
That's how
scene-
Tatooine has to function. Is that like Tatooine is all desert except for like this like group of cities.
Right. There's a scene in Clone Wars in which Obi-Wan says their forces came from the northern hemisphere, and if you said that in a real
You know how
world
much of
battle
that
setting,
planet that is?
you
That's half
would
the
be
planet.
beaten to death on the war room floor. Like that's nothing.
You gotta have coordinates.
That's nothing.
And it's an
They do
it's
say
an,
coordinates quite a bit.
it's
though.
an issue I
do.
have. It's an issue I run into with my GM for the Star Wars campaign I'm in constantly.
Oh my
where someone
God.
will be like, come meet me on the Kijimi or whatever. I'm like, where? though?
Where?
Planets are big.
They gotta be small.
Or like I'm on a planet. Is like, where is this person? Like, well, like he's on this planet. Like, where? Like, I don't know. He could
On
be
a
anywhere.
planet.
Planets are big. Anyway, they're on Canto Bight. Finn is impressed with all the glitz and wealth in the casino, but Rose hates the place because only the weapons dealers who sell to the Empire First Order (IMDb) are rich enough to gamble there. It is also home to a number of rotten people who take pleasure in
Well, they also
misdeeds,
mentioned that they sell to both sides.
including they mentioned that later.
Yeah.
Including cruelty to giant but gentle creatures called fathiers, space horses, that are forced to raise and enslave children who live with them in the stables as caretakers.
Just a weird,
The space horses
detour.
they have in Episode 9 are a lot cooler because they actually were practical effects. They put like these like suits over horses.
That's cool.
And they look really cool. They've got tusks and stuff.
Practical effects always outweigh
This is-
CGI.
Thanks,
for me.
Christopher Nolan.
Thanks, George Lucas and
I
the prequels.
enjoy the Canto Bight arc, unlike a lot of
What?
people on the internet.
Yeah,
But the issue I have with the Canto Bight arc is I feel like they may have been a little too overt with the messaging there of why Canto Bight is rotten. Because what came to mind while I was watching this first time is like, okay, it's like, why is Canto Bight bad? I think Canto Bight is bad purely for the reason that you just came from what you just came from, and that this place
Right. These people are just hanging
existed.
out and having fun.
These people are hanging out and having fun in this like super opulent place while people are dying. Like that in itself is a problem, but like sure, we also there are more profiteers.
right.
It's Star Wars War Dogs.
I haven't
But
seen
not.
it.
Yeah. Okay.
The trio finds the Master Codebreaker, played by Justin Theroux. That's why everyone's thirsty, because it's Justin Theroux.
Yeah.
Playing at a table,
Is this supposed to be a pun?
some sort of no, it's because
Oh,
he's
it's his
okay.
name.
The heroes get
The
captured.
roasty.
That was bad. That was not good.
And one of my favorite sentences in all of Star Wars: the heroes get captured and thrown into a jail cell for illegally parking their ship.
That was the funniest.
a public beach.
You can't park
That
there.
was
And
so funny.
That also goes to show how just like privileged these people
Yeah,
are.
how
that, like,
petty they were.
They're like public part, and like they put like they don't care about the escaped animals. We gotta take care of these illegal parkers. And they blow up their car. Like they don't even tow it. Like like tow their ship and put it in an impound lot and like
They hadn't
charge
even
them a
got-
fine.
They're like, we'll just buy you a new one.
Right, they were like, "Oh, well, we got to get to our ship."
We gotta blow it up.
They're like, "We got to get to our ship. It's on the beach." And there was a part of me that was like, "It probably won't be. They probably towed it. It's in a lot somewhere." Because that's what
If this was a sane planet, that's
right. That's what they would
done.
have done. They would have arrested them and then towed their car, or like put a boot on it or something. A gravity lock. It's a spaceship boot.
Oh my god.
I think they are. They're like, yeah. I mean, they showed up in Bad Batch. What do they call it? I think they did just call it.
I
a
think
boot.
they're just. It might have been a boot, but I think
Space
they're
boot.
called gravity locks because they've shown up a few times.
I mean, Lando's ship is in an impound when in Solo
Right.
because he illegally parked it, and so they booted his ship.
they booted his ship and put it in
Anyway.
an impound lot.
Um,
Anyways,
In their cell, Finn and Rose meet a stuttering scoundrel. I'm not a fan of that alliteration. Named DJ, played by Benicio del Toro, who everyone thought was going to be Ezra Bridger for some reason.
yeah, that was weird.
That was a weird theory. He overhears the two of them needing a code breaker and he offers his services. DJ manages to open their cell, helps them escape, and they climb down to the stable. Rose, fascinated by the beautiful fathiers, word I hate pronouncing, stops to free one from
I
its
hate
stable
reading it on the subtitles. I
And-
kept
Yeah.
thinking it said fathers.
and finds a small boy inside, Broom Boy as he is
Broom
known
Boy.
to be called.
Yeah. Oh, Broom Boy.
Broom boy.
Broom Boy. Tamiri Blog.
Nah, I like Broom Boy.
Broom
better.
boy.
Broom Boy.
And apparently Canto Bight
Punchier.
is just a city and the planet is called Cantonica.
Ugh.
So they did give them a specific location on
Okay.
the planet.
Okay.
They didn't
That,
just
ma-
give them
that makes me feel a little bit better.
Cantonica. That's got good mouthfeels. Cantonica.
Cantonica. That does have a good mouth.
It does.
I got my harmonica
Cantonica.
and my cantonica.
Frightened teen really pushes the panic button, but Rose shows him a ring with the resistance's symbol. They fight guards on the way out with the help of BB-8 and Ride the Fire-Ears as they stampede through the casino, which is one of the best parts of the soundtrack.
Yeah.
They straight up murder people by trampling them with
Right.
horses. If you've ever worked with a horse, you know how scary they
When
are.
it was like going through all the restaurants and crap, they're like,
It's like those people are dead. Like
right.
they are dead.
that's fine.
It's fine. They're war
Wars.
profiteers.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
That's moral now.
Space war.
I'm sure there's
profiteers.
other ways to get rich besides war profiteering in Star Wars. Maybe like stonks.
Star
That's-
stonks.
Star stonks.
They call coffee calf. They would call stocks stonks.
They would call
They
them
would do
stonks.
that.
That is canon in my brain now.
Frightened.
George
um,
probably has it written down in a journal.
Their
somewhere.
ship is destroyed by BB-8 and DJ bring them another one to make their escape, which is my favorite ship in the sequel trilogy. Is the ship DJ steals? It looks so cool. It's like a space Corvette.
Yeah, it's rad.
I love it. I wish it would.
Yes.
I wish
were
it would be.
saying?
I wish it would be on the wiki so I could have one in my Star Wars campaign. Except we're not in the sequel trilogy, so I probably couldn't.
Aw.
I have like
Also,
what?
turns out the Millennium Falcon has an escape pod in it, which I'm gonna
Really?
because she uses the escape pod in this movie. Remember?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
Which I'm gonna have to bring
I
up.
remember this.
I'm gonna bring
Yeah.
because we
Okay,
have
alright.
we have a YT-1300 in the campaign, so I'm gonna have to bring up. Hey, turns out they have escape pods. Boo 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 boo. It's not just that weird thing Lando puts in the front. Turns out that thing in the front is actually to tow cargo. You don't put the cargo in the ship. You have
tow it.
imagine you
You
have
get a
huge
space
cargo thing,
trailer.
and then the fork
Yeah.
goes here, and then you just push it, and then you go like this. So that's why the Falcon's like this, where the cockpit's there. It's because it's actually supposed to be oriented like that. And the cockpit rotates. So then the cargo goes here, and then it goes like that.
And Han just flies it dumb.
Han just flies it dumb, yeah.
Okay,
Who is
Does the cockpit rotate?
probably.
it never shows it
cockpit,
rotate
huh?
in canon, but that's the original design. Anyway, where were we? Luke mentions that the last time he saw Kylo Ren as a student, he had attempted to kill him by collapsing his hut on him. As Rey and Kylo continue to connect, Kylo tells Rey that Luke saw the power growing in Kylo in an attempt to get rid of him before he got stronger. This is what starts the overall theme of this movie, which is communication. Everything bad that happens in this movie is because of a miscommunication.
Everything bad that happens in the prequels is because
Anything
nobody
good
sits down to have a good
relationship.
chat. Nobody gives Anakin the
'Cause
talk.
Luke, because bad things happen
Birds and the
because
blasters.
because Luke didn't communicate with Ben, because Luke didn't tell the truth to Rey at first, because Poe and Holdo didn't communicate at all with each other. It's because communication is what brings us together.
Yeah,
Holdo starts to set in motion plans
cool.
to evacuate the resistant ship to nearby resistant stronghold, the planet Crate. Poe believes she is doing something wrong, and he attempts to stage a mutiny. Before his plans go into effect, Leia appears after walking up, and she incapacitates Poe. Leia allows Holdo's plans to go ahead.
It's because Leia has any brain cells.
Okay, yeah. It was very clear that the mutiny was only going to happen with Leia in a coma. Like,
Yeah.
if she was still bopping around, that wasn't going to happen.
Oh, absolutely.
And no one would have gone behind it if it did happen. It would have been like, Poe,
Right, because then
And
Leia would have.
Leia
No,
probably would have
dude.
had the same plan, and she probably wouldn't have said anything anyway. She would have
Right.
just trust me, and he would have trusted her.
Right, because it's Leia.
Yeah.
That's his mom, a little bit.
What?
Not
yeah.
really, but like,
Like an honorary aunt. She knew
Yeah.
his parents.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She did.
mother figure.
Yeah, he pulls a treasure planet and like runs away, and that's how he gets his smuggling backstory from Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, I forgot
They
about
should
that.
just give him his own movie, honestly.
They should. I mean, he's Moon Knight now, so that's good enough.
Yeah, okay, we'll be.
Moon Knight. And yes.
Yes,
Yes.
correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It did seem like Holdo wasn't keeping the plan from everyone.
Right.
Because like
I feel like there were some higher ups there.
Yeah, when Poe first goes to talk to her, she's asking about the fuel to the person. So she's already like getting ready to move the fuel over. And it would have worked. They would have gone to Crate.
I wonder
First Order
if
wouldn't have noticed. First Order would have kept following the ship until it ran out of fuel. Then they would have shot it, and then they would have been like, "Well, pat on the back, guys, we did it.
Resistance is done.
Round of
We're
drinks on me.
Great. Let's party.
Round of drinks on me." Spotchka. Is that the
Spotchka is one of them.
alcohol,
Yeah.
drinks, and
That
Star
is-
Wars?
Space.
Space booze.
No, you're drinking space.
Just space. Pour me up a cup of space.
space!
Also
Tastes
known
like
as
plasma.
booze or hooch. Really? They straight up call booze and hooch.
Cool.
Okay. Here's every appearance of alcohol in Star Wars.
Anytime Obi-Wan is on screen, Obi-Wan has a drinking problem.
And then the
don't
picture
remember
on the thing is from Galaxy's Edge.
Oh my god.
Rey confronts Luke over what Kylo told him. They engage in a brief fight, which is might be my favorite fight of this movie, is the little fight they have with his stick and her staff.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
That was fun.
Before she asks if he really did try to kill Kylo, Luke explains that he sensed nothing but great darkness in Kylo, with no hope of him turning back. He did consider killing him, but backed out of it, only for Kylo to see him with the lightsaber and respond with a counterattack. More just with an attack.
Right, he just collapsed a building on him.
Yeah. Which, yes.
Luke never actually went through.
Okay, yeah, I'll go with that a little bit, because I had to, vent a little bit about this. The whole, like, oh, he tried to kill him because he had a bad dream. No, he didn't. And he also didn't even try to kill him. He just, like, ignited his lightsaber, like, maybe I should. No, I
Definitely
shouldn't.
thought about it.
Too late. Here's the thing. That Ben was in his 20s when this happened. He was as old as Luke in Return of the Jedi and as old as Anakin in Revenge of the Sith.
Okay.
So, like, Mans was accountable. If he was going down the dark side, that was his decision, and he had, like, made it.
Mhm.
Like, what Luke here's a good thing. What Luke considered doing is exactly what Obi-Wan did in Revenge of the Sith.
Anakin kind of made the first move.
Except
Well, I guess what he tried to do.
what he tried to do. Yeah.
What he almost did.
Yeah, my
Anakin,
brother
Ben
Anakin.
Anakin did make the first move.
But I'm gonna let
Yeah.
you die in this lava really slow instead of finishing you off quick, and I'm gonna walk away.
The
Sorry,
only
that's a
difference is that
tangent.
Ben hadn't actively murdered anyone yet.
Right,
Well,
Ben hadn't done.
maybe.
Well, okay.
I haven't read The Rise of Kylo Ren comic.
Ben hadn't done child murder.
Ben had not
Yet.
yet done child murder.
Give him about
Yet.
20 minutes, and then
It's as if, it's like
Not
if,
children, younglings.
do you know? Okay,
if it's like if someone had like looked into Anakin's mind while he was on the way to go freaking murder Mace Windu and had decided to do something about it.
I think that they should have just put literally anyone in the room with him. They were like, "Hey, we know that you're prone to revenge missions and are like incredibly, incredibly impulsive and do dumb shit when you're mad.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put you in this room alone while we go arrest your best friend.
Anakin
Cool.
with no supervision.
Yeah, y'all couldn't put another person
Or-
in there to be like, maybe don't.
Maybe if they had let him come with them, that may have changed things.
Maybe.
Because he wouldn't have had time to think about it.
Right. Palpatine still would have been manipulating and weird
Yeah.
about like,
true,
but
true,
wait,
true,
I
true,
can
true,
save Padme.
Space
and then-
Weinstein.
Space Weinstein.
He did groom Anakin.
That is the word that they use.
That is the word
for-
they use.
Like,
Where was I?
13 years.
Flashback ends. Rey decides to leave Octo with Chewie and R2. And a bunch of other stuff that she stole. Tease wink. Luke walks by the tree containing the sacred Jedi text. It's up there with Tashi Station. where he's met by a familiar face, all caps, Yoda!
Yoda!
Voice of Frank Oz.
Aw.
Would have been cool to see Obi-Wan, but Frank Oz was still alive, so let's go with that.
So
Right.
He destroys the tree with a lightning bolt.
Oh, yeah.
Ba-doom!
Woo!
To Luke's dismay, Yoda's spirit tells Luke to help Rey before she is also lost to the dark side. The sentence is grammatically correct, but is wordy and hard to read. Luke considers himself a failure, but in the words of Yoda, the greatest teacher failure is. And he also says there's nothing in that library that Rey does not already possess, because Yoda's being a little because she stole the books.
Because part of being a Jedi is speaking in riddles.
It's so funny. Like, I didn't realize my first time viewing that she had the books. I must have just not been paying attention during that one shot where they show the books.
Right.
But it was in between movies. Where it was like, oh, that's cool. And turns out actually reading them like is pretty useful. Oh, I guess Luke did read some of them because that's how he did the whole other Wayfinder stuff that happens in there. But she learns Force healing from one of the books, which is dope.
If only somebody gave that to Anakin.
No, yeah. If only
Padme had gotten actual medical care.
Yeah.
She would have been like, "Hi, I'm pregnant," and they're like, "Why are you pregnant?" And she's like, "Don't worry about it. I'm a senator. Just deal with it."
It makes me want to know more about
It's
like
a scandal
about who was on that island originally and who left the books there, because like Force healing would have been useful in a lot of circumstances.
In a lot of circumstances.
But they're like, no, we shall leave the secret of being able to bring someone back from near death in this book, in this tree, and then we're just gonna peace out.
Yeah, in what has been canonically stated as one of the hardest
It's
the
hard
most
to get to.
secret place in the galaxy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Apparently, the part of the map that R2 had from Force Awakens, he got when he mass downloaded files on the Death Star in A New Hope. So Empire was looking for it.
And that's why they've never
And
ever.
that's why you mass download when you're hacking the Empire.
This is why they've never erased R2's databanks ever
Exactly, you
in the
can't.
history of R2D2.
That dude has so much spam in his hard drive, but they do not care.
Yeah, how much useless information
So much
is on there?
What if he just has malware?
He just has the
Is
entirety
that why
of,
he's
That's
the way
what
that
gives
he
him all the
is?
sass, yeah.
he has
Yeah.
the entirety of
Bit where
Wikipedia
R2
on there.
R2 comes up and says whatever droid thing, and then Luke is like, "Not on my good Christian island. Watch your language. This is a sacred place," is what he said. The reason R2 is constantly speaking in beeps is because he's just always being censored. He's just swearing constantly.
There is a really fun. I think we're close to that. There's a really funny thing that BB-8 does that I just noticed this time watching. Meanwhile, Finn, Rose, and DJ make it to the First Order ship. Unfortunately, they are captured by Captain Phasma. Wow, that just really skipped a bunch of stuff that happened. Played by Gwendolyn Christie and her goons.
Ooh, the goons.
The goons.
I'm gonna
start calling
gonna
people
pause there a
goons.
little bit because there's a lot to talk about. BB-8 does something that I find absolutely hilarious. When they put the trash can over BB-8 and BB-8's going around, the sounds he makes he's mimicking the sounds that mouse droids make.
Oh my god, that's so cute.
Because in all of the movies, they're always like that. Burr, 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 burr. And so BB-8's just making that noise because it's
adorable.
pretending to be a mouse.
I love that. That's the
BB-8
biggest.
is the reason they got caught, though.
Yeah.
Because he's like around bumping into people and stuff. They should have just left him on the ship. What did BB-8 He did he hack?
He had a lot of confidence.
Here's the thing, though. It's been pretty explicitly stated in a lot of Star Wars media that nobody actually pays attention to droids.
Yeah.
So if they just let BB-8 loose, they probably
So the
wouldn't have
other-
cared. He's just
the
an
other, the other
astromech.
droid is what noticed him.
You saying you want them to abandon him like a dog?
No, just
Hey, go over there, Fido.
he's not a dog.
the
He's
BB-9
BB-8.
that noticed him, which is why I think that Resistance and Rebel people should just always have like spray paint to just paint their droids.
That's
Empire
what they do in
colors.
Rebels. Yeah.
It made me so angry in Battlefront 2 campaign when after Iden joins the rebellion,
Yeah.
she repaints her freaking Empire's scout droid to the Rebel colors, and it's
Then
like
you can't use him as a.
That's what I did in my Star Wars campaign, RPG campaign. Is
It's so
I stole one of those droids,
and then someone just shoots your drone, and you're like, "What the?"
Got one of those droids,
Right.
and then I just never repainted it.
Yeah.
So like,
And then see
I could be wearing my normal clothes and having that hover next to me, and it makes me look like I'm official.
Yeah, in Rebels they have a little astromech that they like send into missions and stuff, and every time they do, they paint it to look like.
Yeah, they should have done with BB-8.
yeah.
Or just left him on the ship.
Anyways,
Because they have a code breaker, they don't need his little scompy scomp. With DJ having told the villains Finn and Rose's plan and like the whole like Resistance's plan in order to gain monetary compensation, at the same time Rey arrives on the same ship, who's taken prisoner by Kylo Ren.
bum bum bum.
Oh,
What a great
no.
boyfriend.
Snoke's ship.
I mean, he's literally tortured.
It is
her.
a supremacy. I was
Yeah.
right.
That's not.
It's wide. It's a really wide ship. The supremacy. It's the really wide one. Look at this thing. It's so wide.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. Continue.
It has a wingspan of 60 kilometers
Seems excessive.
and a length of 13 kilometers. Its construction was undertaken on an unprecedented scale.
Man, I wish I had a ship that was
It has
13 kilometers.
32 sublight engines.
Seems excessive.
Wow, a crew of
17.
2,225,000 personnel. Holdo killed a lot of people.
Is a crew
Holdo
of
has
7.
the highest kill count of any Disney
Right.
princess.
Is she a princess?
No, she's an admiral.
Holdo.
I thought we established
Amelin?
that
Oh,
just
her
about,
first name is Amelin?
I thought
Wow.
we established that just about any female character in any Disney-owned movie can just be a princess because Disney does not care at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mulan
Reference the definitive list of Disney princesses.
Yeah,
which-
Mulan isn't a princess.
Which I think we talked about in the Cat Cave.
Yes,
She's-
yeah.
Or Wild
I laid out the rules I had for that series, or that bonus episode, which is just if they are in any technicality a princess, or if Disney says they are a princess.
Right.
So
Mulan
Mulan would count in that
is
sense because-
nobility, and they've
she's-
decided she's a princess.
Yeah. Or like Pocahontas. No, yeah,
She's a princess.
She's
I mean,
a princess.
yeah, princess
Wait,
adjacent.
did she get to be in the? I think the real thing is, did she get to be in that one princess room in Wreck-It Ralph too?
Yeah, the princess from Rocket Off 2 is like definitive, like you are a princess.
Right.
Anyway, Kylo brings Rey to Snoke. Rey tries to get Kylo to abandon the dark side, but Snoke taunts Rey as she tries to fight back. Snoke reveals that he created the connection between her and Kylo in an attempt to destroy Luke. Snoke attempts to get Kylo to kill Rey with his light saber, but Kylo uses. Let me look at Wikipedia. It's just one word.
It is lightsaber.
Yeah, it's lightsaber.
It is lightsaber.
It's not spider-man.
Yeah, it does.
Well, right.
It's-
Spider
the
hyphen man
rule
is
for
spider
that
hyphen
doesn't
man.
apply to
But
this.
it's not light hyphen saber. It's just lightsaber.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
But Kylo uses Luke's "Don't chew into the mic." Don't please.
This is the worst
Kylo
ASMR.
uses. Where is I'm trying to find where I was reading. Okay, Kylo uses Luke's
Okay.
lightsaber to impale Snoke and cut him in half.
I did like that.
That was a
that
jaw
was
drop.
fun.
That was a jaw dropping moment in the theater because we're like, okay, it's gonna
The
be
second
like,
that it starts twisting,
it's gonna be like the original trilogy. We're not gonna find out anything about Snoke until the last movie, and then he's gonna die or whatever. No, they straight up kill him in the second movie. I'm like, oh, hello, that's
Yeah.
new. Rey and Kylo then fight Snoke's soldiers. Excuse me, they are the Praetorian
Snoke's
Guard
soldiers.
Snoke
soldiers.
Snoke juice.
And slaughter them all. Slaughter good because they all get pretty gruesome deaths.
This is the best fight
I-
scene in all the Star Wars
I
franchise,
love,
right here.
I love the bit where they push
I
the
love
dude
it.
into the thing and there's just like the
I
spray
love
of red
how we
cloth.
have- I love how
it
we-
was very Muppet-esque.
We have a piece of Star Wars content where we can use the word meat chunks. He gets pushed into the thing and then his meat chunks fly out. And the other guy gets like the lightsaber through the eye.
Yes.
Okay, but like the lightsaber whips.
The like whip thing.
And like a fight scene that it's not like really quick cutting. It's like it's medium cuts.
Right, yeah.
And like you're actually seeing the action going on, and it's
not a
still
Marvel
good.
movie.
It's still high energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is good.
And
Take note, every action movie owned by Disney.
Marvel.
Ray's battle cry makes me feel things. When she's just like,
I love how aggressive Ray gets to be.
I love how
Women don't get to be like
aggro.
aggressive
I love
when they're
how
mad.
angry she gets when she fights. It's
But
so
she just
cool.
goes.
She goes for it. And yeah, like I love this fight scene. If you go frame by frame with any fight scene, you're gonna find issues. But like this is so much better than say the Mace Windu Palpatine fight where Palpatine is holding Luke's lightsaber for a second in it. There's a shot where he's holding the wrong lightsaber.
I love when they do stuff like that. There's
the Obi-Wan and Annie fight where they'll have like some movements and then they'll show those movements again but from a different camera angle but make it seem like it's further in on the fight, and then they do it like 3 times.
There's a few scenes
where they
in
loop.
like the Battle of Geonosis where random Jedi's lightsabers will just change colors halfway through the scene and then go back.
There's so many
love this fight.
though.
There are.
It was also really cool to have like because every Star Wars film has to have like the duel in the 3rd act. It's like
Right.
it's a requirement
It's
unless you're Rogue One or
right,
Solo.
yeah.
But having one that wasn't just a lightsaber on lightsaber duel, that was really cool. Like it's a 2 against
Just like 8
8.
or something like that.
And would you even call
Right.
that the 3rd act, or would you call that like end of the 2nd?
Because there's a lot of movie after that.
Yeah, there's still a lot of movie, and there's still another.
That was one of those
Oh.
bits where I was like, this is the end of the movie, right?
Elite Praetorian Guard. How many are there? Doesn't say.
Let's go with 8. That sounds
8.
right.
Oh, you got it. You're
Oh,
right.
damn!
8 human warriors divided into 4 pairs. Cool.
So they're like couples.
Aw, cute.
So they're like
Yeah.
swingers,
Yeah.
No.
but they're all together.
It's true romance is just killing people together.
Lightsaber.
Have you ever seen Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
So Kylo, he's
No.
doing stuff.
Oh, it's good. It's fun.
Kylo is now fully taken over by the dark side. He tries to get Rey to join him, but she refuses and tries to get him on the resistance side. And he's like, how about no? Kylo attempts to manipulate Rey when mentioning her parents. Good thing for saying that is manipulation. When he's
Yeah.
like, oh, they're nobody, but you're not. You're nobody, but not to me.
Right, nobody else will care about you
which is like,
besides
Holy
me.
cow! He was like the emotionally manipulative boyfriend.
That is
Why did they end up together?
textbook because
Not-
he's white.
Which,
That's
him being
racist.
emotionally
Yes, it is.
manipulative when he says that is what makes me fully accept the somewhat retcon of who her parents are in episode 9. Because him, like, talking out of his during that
Yeah.
totally checks out.
Yeah.
There's like, oh yeah, I saw who your parents are and they're nobody and you suck.
Okay, I know that you meant that as an expression. But I just imagine like
That's what the argument. That's what it sounded like. Dark side.
That's what I hear about Kylo a lot.
Thanks, Beaker.
Ray, you're something to me, Ray.
I care about you,
I
Ray.
care about you, Ray. Touch my
No one
hand
else ever will.
again.
Do you want to see my weird high-waisted pants
I'm
and
wide.
shirtless hot body? And she's like, "No, this is weird.
That
Actually, I'm
scene was
uncomfortable."
great. It didn't talk about it in the recap, but that scene was great.
That was so funny.
He's like, I'd rather not do this right now. Me neither. Off screen. It's just.
It just cuts to him, and he's like,
It's like, did you see me poop? Despite her trying to forget, her parents were just junk traders who sold her off. Rey eventually resists and leaves to rejoin the resistance while Kylo assumes the role as the Supreme Leader. You kind of missed the part where they blow up the lightsaber.
"Right, explode a lightsaber together."
Yeah, knocks them both
Let's
out.
explode a lightsaber
Rey wakes up
together.
first.
True romance.
Rey takes the 2 halves of the lightsaber, pieces out on Snoke's ship, which I wish we could have seen because I'm sure it was like
Right,
gold.
It was probably super cool.
But
I wanted
the dude
to have
was
like
wearing a gold robe and he had this.
I want it
gold
to
throne,
look
he had,
like those
rings.
like solar sailors that Dooku always had.
Oh,
Those were so
gosh.
cool. They're so
Maybe.
elegant.
As the resistance fighters are making their way to Crate, Hux's men start to fire upon the transports, killing heavy numbers of the resistance. Seeing no other option, Holdo sacrifices herself and rams the command ship at
The best scene in the movie!
into the First Order ship, splitting it in two and destroying other nearby ships. A little clarification. Approaching light speed, technically not at light speed.
Right, she was going to light
Because
It
speed.
was still really cool.
Yeah.
The cut to dead silence.
That's
And
the
just
thing,
the
like,
white.
you've got, like, the base level fans who just think it's cool, the mid-tier fans who think that it doesn't make sense, but then the high-tier fans who know the lore and that it does make sense.
Also, who cares?
'Cause-
Pew pew,
Yeah.
laser sword, space wizard,
Yeah, like,
fly a ship
yes.
through a ship.
Yes, light speed is a different dimension, but you have to get super fast to get there, and they were close enough that it
She
was,
hadn't hit 88 miles per hour
she hadn't
yet.
hit 88 miles per hour yet, yeah. And they established previously that their ships weren't shielded up. They had all their power going to the guns.
Right.
So it was like, the reason that they say it's 1 in a million in the next movie is because, like, you need ideal conditions, being like a light speed coordinate in that direction, them not having their shields up, and neatly packed together.
Right, so that all the rubble and,
Oh,
yeah.
it's
Oh,
when it
so
goes
pretty, though. Oh.
which I think is great because any other sound you would have picked for that would have either been too loud or wouldn't have sounded good enough.
Right. So just putting no sound, it really hits
And
the
like there is a little
impact.
like whoa afterwards, which is like
Right. They add some sound afterwards, but for the moment itself.
Yes.
yeah, and they had to put notices on theaters that like if like the sound is working properly, if it seems like it isn't as actually part of the movie, they had to put like disclaimers because people were like, "What happened?" I remember missing the first.
Shut up,
15
Star Wars
minutes of
fan!
the Three Musketeers reboot because the theater wasn't working.
It happened to me when I went to go see, I think it was Madagascar 2, and they were like, we'll let you watch it again. And I'm like, I don't care that much about
That's
Madagascar 2,
Walker
actually.
Cinemas for ya. A little call out.
I think it was Walker Cinemas.
Cinepoint
that
Yeah,
went-
that's the only place I've ever had issues.
Yeah.
Is with Walker. Like I
Cinepoint
watched.
6 just closed. They're bankrupt.
I know. I'm sad about
Who
it.
did?
Cinepoint
Cinepoint
6.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh dang, I love Cinepoint.
No.
But yeah, Walker Cinema.
probably get bought again.
I watched Thor Ragnarok in 3D at Walker Cinema,
Mhm.
and they had the 3D wasn't working for like the first 10 minutes of the movie, and they had to pause it and fix like the lens or whatever.
God.
Because like
the projection.
yeah, because like we had our 3D glasses on and we were like, why isn't it working? And then like the people like a few rows above us look over, like, is the 3D not working for you either? I'm like, yeah, it isn't. BB-8, having escaped the villain's clutches, commandeers an AT-AT.
That wasn't an AT-AT.
It was an AT-AT. Shh, no. Technically both are correct, but I'm in the camp of AT-AT because everything else is also an acronym.
Right.
I prefer AT&T.
Like
What do you
that's the only one it works with. You got to
Right,
apply
what
the
it-
same rule to everything.
Oh no, they're bringing in the ads.
The atert, the at, like the ATTT. What do you say about that? Anyway, armored walker, I'm sorry. Did you just call this an AT-AT armored walker? So an all-terrain armored transport armored walker? No, it's just an AT-AT. You don't need to also say it's a whatever. To fire upon the First Order soldiers, Finn and Rose prepare to escape, but Finn battles Phasma until he overpowers her. I also love this fight scene. Him doing like the Tonfa stuff with the the ship starts to. She tells him that he was always scum, to which he proudly responds, "Rebel scum." The ship starts to come apart, and Phasma falls at the burning wreckage. Finn and Rose head off to meet the others on Crate.
The Rebels it does not make sense because they're
Whatever. It sounds cool.
Yeah.
yeah.
Resistance scum
It's
doesn't
like-
have the
it's like
same
resistance
punch.
scum.
We're not
like-
resistance. We're rebels.
I mean,
Why didn't they just be rebels again?
they
I don't
do start calling themselves rebels again, pretty much because like the First Order, like, won after Force Awakens, and so like they are basically rebels now.
Right. Resistance was them stopping the
They're
rise of it, but
resisting
once
against the rise and then rebelling against them being on
the
top.
actual government
Exactly. Also, rebels just sound cooler.
I guess it's just hard to map when they actually lose because I know it's Star Wars and I know that even if they're like temporarily like, oh darn, they're still gonna
now.
win.
Right, it's Star Wars.
So even when they lose, I'm like, did they lose or are they still fighting? Can't tell.
Can't tell exactly. This watching it this time did change my mind about something. I was previously on the fence of like the deleted scene with him and Phasma should have been kept in, where like he turns a bunch of stormtroopers against her by like saying what she did on Starkiller Base, and then like she kills them. But watching it this time, that would have like just halted the momentum.
It would have interrupted the flow a bit. Yeah.
Going it like straight from that into like straight combat flows really well.
But I just want a stormtrooper uprising.
Yeah.
I wanted that. I wanted Finn to give an impassioned speech to all the stormtroopers and then like have a really like swelling music as they all take off their helmets and then it's like, whoa, they're all
And that
individuals.
Whoa, and they all can't shoot for crap.
The First Order ones can.
Yeah.
No, they're all right.
Yeah.
And that would have worked in Rise of Skywalker pretty well because they introduced the Sith troopers, so they would have still had people to fight against. We'll talk about Rise of Skywalker eventually, I'm sure.
Yeah.
The surviving Resistance fighters have dwindled to a few dozen or so. Kylo and Hux lead gigantic walkers to the Resistance stronghold. Wait, this also got it wrong. BB-8 doesn't command an AT-AT, he commands an AT-ST.
Yeah.
It's the chicken walker.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. No, it's not an AT-AT.
So is the AT-AT the big one?
The big one with 2 legs.
Okay, and then what's the really big one?
The
What's the
really...
one with the 4 legs?
What are those ones?
The ones on Hoth.
Those are AT-ATs.
Yeah.
And
That's what I
in
thought.
Rogue One, there were the AT-ACTs, which were like AT-ATs but bigger
Yeah.
because they were a cargo transport.
Cargo.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's an all-terrain armored. It's just an AT-AT, but it's the First Order AT-AT,
Oh my god.
which are huge.
They're giant and they look like gorillas.
Huge.
I know, and they got like the knuckles, so like they lean down and like have these big cannons on their backs.
Yeah.
It was cool.
They are really clunky in Battlefront 2. But
stuff
if
is
you,
clunky in Battlefront 2.
because of Rise of Skywalker, you can have a jetpack trooper, and you can just like jetpack onto the top of one of those, and like no one can hit you from there, and you can just
Oh, I've
sort of
done that.
chill.
Yeah, I love doing that.
But it's super glitchy. So yeah, there's like AT.
Yeah, they kind of fixed Battlefront 2.
Armed with a battering ram cannon that will obliterate the entrance, Poe leads Finn, Rose, and a few others on speeders to fight back. I'm gonna
Okay,
pause there.
okay,
I
okay.
like the
This
battering
is the
ram
part
cannon.
where I start to hate Rose. This is it.
Here's okay. Let me make a brief comment real quick because this thing pissed me off every time I watch
Actually,
it.
it's called a super laser siege cannon.
Okay.
Not a
No,
battering
there's
ram
a
cannon.
scene.
It's big laser.
Big laser. No, there's a dude
I like that.
sitting in the trenches and he like touches the ground and then licks his
Salt.
hand and he
Salt.
says salt. And then that never comes back, Chekhov's gun. If you
I
make
guess
weird
it's just to explain.
expositional dialogue like
it
that,
is.
it's gonna come back. And then it never did.
You want to know the real reason that that's in? It's because the
People
guy-
were probably
no,
gonna-
because the guy who says that is the director of Rogue One.
Oh
It's
my god.
It's a cameo.
Right.
That's it.
They probably
It's a
put it
cameo.
in so that they're like, no, it's not
Also,
snow,
There's a
it's
Twitter
salt.
account that
Don't-
tweets that line every day.
Put
Salt.
you're on a
It tweets the clip.
don't
God.
pick something up on the ground
Don't
from a
lick the
foreign
ground.
planet and put it in your mouth.
I don't know.
He licks it and
That's
he's like,
how they that's how the aliens lost.
they don't
in War
talk
of the
about
Worlds.
gravity.
it's arsenic,
on the
and then he
different
just
planets.
dies.
Do they really care?
No, they don't.
Star Wars writers don't care.
The important thing, though, was
Powered by
that
kyber crystals. Ah.
the white on top of the red was like visually stunning, and that's what really matters. That was like the reason they did it all, because it looked really cool.
So apparently the
The Knuckle Walker?
skimmer craft
Oh.
is referred to as Reb Squadron.
Reb,
Or Red.
REB.
Reb.
Not sure why.
Screw Red Squadron. We already did that one.
I love those skimmers are really cool.
Yeah.
And getting hit by one in Battlefront 2 is one of the scariest things ever
Yes.
because they just come out of nowhere. It's like bam. Anyway, Rey and Chewie come down with the Falcon to draw the TIE fighters away while Finn attempts to stop the cannon. It works. He nearly flies head on and Rose crashes her ship into his to stop him. Finn goes to hear goes to her and asks why she did it. She tells him they always fight for what they love, and she kisses him and then passes out. Finn rushes back to the stronghold to get Rose medical attention. Now, I know you guys have stuff to say, but I'm going to say I had less of an issue with it this time because I remembered the kisses being a lot more, like, romantic before. But watching this time, it was more just a peck.
Yeah.
It reminded
It wasn't
me,
a makeout
It
sesh.
reminded me of when Leia kisses Luke in A New Hope and goes, "For luck." It reminded me. Still, it's a corny line.
Yeah.
But she did save him, and also that wouldn't. I firmly believe that would not have worked if he just suicided.
Probably not.
He would have gotten close, and it would have just like vaporized him.
Nah, he saw.
He's like, I'm good. Like, you see his guns like evaporate. Like, what's he gonna
Right.
do?
He saw
Like the
he saw
little-
General What's Her Face like drive through the ship, and he's like, "I'm gonna do that too. She can't have all the spotlight."
It's like
today."
I could hold on maneuver in this. Like, no, you can't.
No. Like the little skimmer bit of his skimmer broke off and like yeah.
I've got to
He's
speed
just
things
trying.
up because it's 12:55 and I got work at 1:30.
And we've been recording for almost 2 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Have fun editing.
Though, granted, a bunch of it's gonna get cut out. 'Cause
Yeah.
There's a lot of humming and hawing. The two. What is happening?
Ah.
The First Order fires their cannon onto the stronghold. Into, more like. Poe and Leia appear hopeless with most of their comrades dead and their own doom approaching. Though they could just, hot gates it with the opening. Works at Battlefront. You just find a hallway and just chokehold it.
Yeah.
Suddenly, Leia is visited by Luke. The two siblings have a final meeting with Luke saying that nobody is ever truly gone. Nobody is ever really gone. Truly? Nah, he doesn't say truly. Luke
It feels
goes
like
out
the title of an album.
Luke goes out to face the First Order. Kylo orders the soldiers to fire everything on Luke where he stands. Even after the insane amount of firepower unleashed on Luke, more! He is still standing and
Me
coolly
at
brushes
the
his shoulder
dude
off.
at Olive Garden grinding my cheese.
More! Kylo Ren. Popo realizes Luke is.
Memeable Ren.
I pulled out the Kylo Ren voice during D&D for an NPC a few weeks ago, and it broke down the entire session because everyone was laughing too much.
Just because it's stupid.
Yeah, it is. Poe realizes Luke is tracking the villains to allow them to escape. The fighters follow Crystal Wolves. I'm not going to look up what they really are, but they're not called that. To an exit, only to be blocked by a huge pile
Little
of rocks.
crystal critters.
Salt. Okay, you two talk. I'm going to actually look it up.
Okay. Salt.
What's that?
Salt. Okay, they haven't even gotten to their fight yet.
Jesus. See, that's what I'm saying. This movie had like 8 stopping points. This was another one of those scenes where I was like,
They are
oh
called
my god.
Volptext.
Volptext.
What, really? Volptex.
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 Okay.
Non-sentient species of omnivorous and gregarious.
Oh, they're not sentient.
Canids. No.
Oh, lame.
I guess.
Well, I think they mean non-sapient.
They mean non-sapient. That's
Yeah.
true. Kylo goes down to face Luke himself.
Big Star
Blow that
Wars.
piece of junk out of the sky. That meme happens. They duel with their light sabers, and Kylo attempts to strike Luke with a killing blow, only to realize Luke is a hologram. Not really.
Not a hologram!
He's a projection. Force projecting himself while still on Octu.
not-
IMDb, get your
Come on, IMDb. You can't even spell
Ray,
lightsaber.
I am dumb.
Luke tells Kylo he will not be the last Jedi. That technically happens before this, whatever. At that moment, Rey uses the Force to clear the way for the fighters. She and Finn embrace. Kylo screams in rage at his defeat as the heroes board the Falcon and escape.
The Falcone.
Lifting rocks. Love that moment. The floating rocks look cool.
Oh, the rocks were cool. Yeah.
The rocks are cool. The Falcon is big. Everyone can fit on it.
Yeah.
The Force, like, that was another moment in the theater of when he realizes that he is a Force projection of just being like, what?
Right. I love the bit where he like
Yeah, brushes
the
his
sass,
like,
showing up with his new Gucci boots
he-
and like a
he
fresh
did
haircut.
The whole
And
thing without violence. That's the Jedi way.
sometimes I think a little violence is fine.
Yeah,
as
though
a
he would have
treat.
died.
So-
if he showed up in there in person, he would have died.
I mean, yeah, but I just
this
Man,
is more badass.
he's from his perspective, like he was like, oh, I'm bummed for like the most of his life, and then he just had a very peaceful rest of his life, like on this island or whatever, and then he just dies very peacefully watching the sunset. That's it. Also, I don't understand why he dies.
he exerted too much of
Yeah.
his energy.
Yes, like using the Force makes you tired, as has been displayed in
Little
pretty much
baby
every
Grogu.
movie. A little baby Grogu, yeah. And like even like when Kylo was like, "Oh, you couldn't have been doing this to Rey. It would have killed you. The effort would have killed you, or whatever." But like, yeah, force projecting yourself
Across the entire
across
galaxy.
the entire galaxy is gonna take it out of you.
Yeah.
You know what would have been
Hanging-
cooler though is if he actually flew over and then maybe not have died.
I remember thinking in the theater like, "Oh, is Luke's X-wing gonna show up?" And then afterwards,
Right, because
thinking,
they showed
that would have looked.
they
silly.
had his X-wing like under the water.
Technically a Chekhov's gun for Rise of Skywalker, but whatever.
Okay, that's fair.
Luke, old ass Luke rolling in an X-wing would have looked silly to me. Like, hi, I'm here.
It's me. It would not have
I love
been
it.
Mandalorian.
On Oct 2, Luke finishes using what power he had left.
I haven't seen Mandalorian. I don't know.
It's
He
good.
looks
All
up
right.
and sees a twin sunset, just like back on Tatooine. He smiles and then he vanishes, now completely becoming one with the Force. I mean, maybe not even like fully it took him out of him and killed him. Like,
Yeah,
he
that's
just
what I
like,
was gonna say.
he
He
was like, "You
probably
know
just
what?
like
I forget
was
I'm
tired.
done.
No one ever really
That's
does.
what Yoda does.
Right, Yoda was like,
Yoda's just like,
I don't want
"You know
to.
what? I'm good."
I'm done with expositioning. I'm just gonna.
He vanishes, becoming one with the Force. Rey tells Leia that she has sensed that Luke is now gone, and she asks what will become of the Resistance now. Leia tells her that they have what they need to rebuild.
Boom boy.
Yes, referencing the books and the broken lightsaber, which she fixes. On Canto Bight, a trio of stable children that previously encountered Finn and Rose are telling each other the story of Luke Skywalker. Their master comes over to scold them, to force them to go back to work. The boy that they had found in the stable goes outside to sweep. He looks up the sky to see the Falcon flying overhead.
What they didn't
I
mention.
didn't notice that was the Falcon. Cool.
Yeah, what they didn't mention was that the little boy did use the Force to
Uses
grab the
Force to
broom.
grab
Yeah.
the broom.
Yeah.
Broom boy.
Broom boy.
And with
Broom boy.
Rose's
Broom
resistance
boy's
ring on his
broom
fire, he
Broom boy.
raises the broom like a lightsaber. Da-da-da-da-da. The film closes with the words "in loving memory of our princess, Carrie Fisher."
Just a
Of our princess.
yeah.
Mark Hamill.
He's still alive. We just love remembering him.
We shot him.
like a
But
horse.
he pulled through. The story is they shot him. They released the movie, but he pulled through. And
Broom
like,
boy
"Damn
is
it."
Broom boy is a little silly, but
little
it's
bit.
whatever.
I mean, that's
makes
it's like
me-
regular Star Wars silly.
It was the moment where like she like shows him the ring, and then he like gets this like smirk, and then he's like, "Go, go, go!" It made me just think of young Anakin, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, this feels like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Eh.
Okay, but I did really like
boy.
when Luke died and he sees like the two sunsets.
Yeah.
Because the Force's theme is
Mhm.
called Binary Sunset, and then it plays the song. Like that's the
And
title
then-
of the song.
His cape just flees away in the wind,
Dramatically.
dramatically.
Wee wee.
And if you're asking why didn't his metal hand clank to the ground, because that would have looked silly. That's it. Hey, maybe he took his hand off. He's like, you know what? Clink, clink.
You just
Toss it.
It would have been so funny if it was like.
Also, I love it's a detail that I noticed in Empire Strikes Back, which is visually called back to in this, but like not superly. Is it's the same hand he got from Empire Strikes Back, and in Empire Strikes Back he gets shot in his robot hand, and it like tears away like the synthetic flesh that were covering his hand because he and instead of fixing it he just puts a glove over it, and so by this time the whole skin has just
it's just gone.
Yeah,
rotten
metal,
away,
yeah.
and he just has never bothered to replace
Right,
it.
who cares?
He's
I
like,
just want to know how
it's
many.
cooler.
It's cooler.
Right,
than the
it's the
hand,
aesthetic. I want to know how many times Han would be like, "Hey, Luke, can you give me a hand?" And he just like,
Oh my gosh, so many times.
yeah.
Shoots Luke.
Final thoughts and moment of the movie. We're gonna rapid fire moment of the movie because I'm running out of time.
We've been going for a long
I may
time.
just have you guys do
Okay,
the cleanup.
so here's my beef. Not my beef. Star Wars fans, you guys suck because this is a good. I think this is a good film. I know it runs a little bit long, but you still have
That's
a
my
good
biggest
time.
qualm.
And it's actually a movie that surprises you instead of following the same
True.
plot.
I was not surprised by
past Star
Rise
Wars
of
movies have
Skywalker.
followed.
I was surprised by this.
Yeah. So
Moment of the movie, go.
Star Wars fan. Oh, favorite movie? Or
Moment.
favorite moment? Sorry.
Yeah, unrelated. What's your favorite
moment
movie?
of the
Shrek
movie?
2.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Moment of the movie can be your favorite moment, your least favorite moment, just whatever you want to call
Just
it.
a moment.
Favorite moment is obviously the light speed thing, where it's just dead silent.
Everyone. Ditto.
Yeah.
You can't ditto.
I'm dittoing.
Can't ditto.
I'm
Pick a new
dittoing.
one.
Okay, moment of the movie is Salt.
Salt. Okay.
Salt.
Moment of the movie. Real because it stood out to me is Rey's fight with Luke,
Yeah, that was cute.
where they have a little duel there. Also, second place moment of the movie for me is Finn fighting Captain Phasma, because of the way that shot, it feels like a fighting game when they're just like side scrolling.
Like platform.
It's so cool.
This is cute.
Anyway, shoot, rank the movie.
This is cute.
Rank the movie. I'm gonna go to the ranking. As always, I start from the top, and when you hear a movie that is worse
Okay.
than this, then call it out.
Okay, go.
Frozen 2.
Boom.
Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest.
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back.
Whoa, why is Dead Man's Chest above Empire Strikes Back?
Because it's better.
It's not.
A New Hope. Hamilton, The Muppets. Okay, so it's gonna be in the top 5.
Right.
So where do you want it in relation to Hamilton, New Hope? I'm gonna just ignore Hamilton.
I feel like underneath.
Above Hamilton.
Yeah, above Hamilton, underneath New Hope.
Underneath New Hope.
I
Okay.
like New Hope.
Plus,
Maybe
New
it's
Hope
just.
is the original idea.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe it's just the classic in me, but I like New Hope.
Yeah, and I said this before. I said this
place.
before recording, but I have Force Awakens as number 2 on my Star Wars ranking, because to me it feels like Force Awakens to A New Hope is what Mad Max Fury Road is to the original Mad Max films. It's the same thing, but pretty. And to me,
Yeah,
that's
but-
enough.
Eh.
And below New Hope, but above Hamilton. Okay, there we have Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi is number 5 on our total list. I'm not going to bother reading everything else. You can, whatever.
Yeah, put it up on the screen.
Yep.
It's fine.
Ask for me. I don't want to. It's actually too long to put up on the screen.
Oh,
now.
I scroll it through the screen,
I don't want
but
to.
scroll
Okay,
like 1 second worth.
Film information and statistics. This was written by Rian Johnson and directed by Rian Johnson. Released December 15th, 2017. Runtime of 2 hours and 32 minutes. IMDb score of 7.0 out of 10. Rotten Tomato scores 90% critics, 42% audience because of people.
Star Wars fans!
Shut up!
Because of
Shut
review
up, Star
bombing.
Wars!
Review bombing. Bechdel test pass. Hard pass.
Oh, hard pass.
Yeah. Holdo and
Leia.
Leia, for the most part, is why it passes.
Mm-hmm.
And Holdo and like all of the other female command, which there's a good number.
Good
of.
handful.
Yeah. Cult. The cult test. It's a new thing that we added. Yes, the First Order are literally Nazis. This passes the cult test.
Yes.
To be a good Disney movie, you have to have a cult somewhere in it.
I understand.
Yes.
Does it have a cult in it? Yes.
Yes. Because I like that about the First Order. They really lean into the Nazi thing, especially if you watch Star Wars Resistance. They really just mirror that, where like no one really takes them seriously at first, and then all of a sudden, like bam, they take over Belgium, or they blow up
Coruscant
the
or
Republic.
whatever.
Yeah, they blow up Hosnian Prime, while George Lucas made the Empire mirror the U.S. during the Vietnam War, which is the whole thing.
Yeah.
Mailbag. It is time to spin the wheel. This week's wheel is submitted via email by Undersider, and is the Toy Story collection. Who wants to roll the wheel? Spin the wheel.
I'll spin the wheel.
Okay, let me get the wheel ready.
Okay.
With the Force. Oh, you know what? It's sure. What? It's Star Wars. Spin the wheel.
I'm gonna spin the wheel with the Force.
Okay.
Yeah. You can't sing.
Yeet.
Copyright.
Okay. Toy Story Tunes. Small Fry from
Oof.
2011. This one's fun. It lampoons Happy Meal toys. The film has a support group for abandoned Happy Meal toys.
Oh my.
There's so many.
And there is a tiny Happy Meal version of Buzz Lightyear that's like this big, who successfully does what he tried to do in the first movie, gets rid of Buzz and then pretends to be Buzz. It's very good. I think I'll have you as co-host on for that
Oh my
episode because
God,
of that
okay.
reaction.
I'm delighted by the concept.
Okay, time to decide the new wheel. Let's see what we got. We got Disney, which is everything. Holiday movies collection, High School Musical collection.
Whoa.
So this will be for what your co-host episode is going to be. I'm
Well-
going to alternate between you two.
Okay,
I think
okay.
that's
Okay,
good.
that's fair.
I'll
let
so
you
this
choose.
is okay. High School Musical collection, Disney Channel original movie, National Geographic Exploring Our World, Disney Channel collection. We just did Toy Story, National Geographic Animals and Nature collection, Halloween, Spark Shorts, and 4K Ultra HD and HDR.
High School Musical.
Okay.
Yeah. We're gonna watch a High School Musical and.
Yeehaw.
Okay, that includes High School Musical, the series.
No!
Too late.
Congratulations.
So
you
yes, we will
played
be spinning the
yourself.
High School Musical collection. Thank you to Luscious Packs, I think. Lususpax. Luscious Packs
Sure.
for submitting that wheel. I have work in 20 minutes. Let's go.
All right.
Thank you all so much for listening. If you liked the show, please review us on iTunes or whatever podcast service you listen to. And share it with your friends. You can send your reviews or comments to WhereStreamsComeTrue@gmail.com. I haven't checked the email in a bit, so we might have new wheels. Studio76WSCT on Twitter. You can submit a wheel, such as a category or search term in Disney Plus. If you send in your review, we may read it on the show, or submit a recording on Anchor.fm/WhereStreamsComeTrue if you are brave and have a good microphone. And as always,
May the force be with you.
there we go.
Okay.
Do you have